O Show. This is the Big 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 O Show. This
So here we are. I wanted to show you the backyard again because we had some trouble last time, but you know, CuttersEdgePro.com does some amazing stuff, and there are the boys and the girl. They're having fun. There we go. Right, Maiden? Right, Bono? There we go. They're having fun. I'm having fun. Look at our Sylvester palm. It is beautiful. We got another one in the front yard like that. You can take your home and landscaping to the next level. And the artificial turf, look at that. Look at that, the two dinosaurs going at it, huh? Look at that. I gotta love the dinosaurs. Look at them. They like to bite each other's legs. That's what they do. They play with each other and then they bite each other and they piss each other off. It's fun. One is Bono, which is the one farther away from you, and Maiden. She's the girl right here. She's a badass. That's for sure. So anyway, see the flowers are coming out. Very nice. CuttersEdgePro.com, folks. This big tree there will start budding that I'm showing you there soon. It'll have all kinds of flowers. I'll post another video and I'll show it to you. This is a backyard where everybody gets to hang out. Over there in the corner there, I put the barbecue and cook. So that way it's the farthest away from the house, you know. If I light myself on fire or somebody else, we're out in the corner away from everybody. There you go. So you're getting some flowers coming out, which is a beautiful thing. And I swear by this artificial turf, it always looks phenomenal. I don't have to cut it. I don't have to water it. And so I'm saving a lot of money, hundreds and thousands in the long run, because I'm not watering or, of course, cutting the grass. And you know, here in South Florida, we cut the grass like every 10 to 14 days.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zins Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zins Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
With more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes, Welton Rayum is committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. At Welton Rayum, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. Welton Rayum can help. When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at Caneswear.com or InterMiamiWear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All right, good morning, boys and girls. Ready to rock and roll on a beautiful Monday, day before July 4th. It'll be a beautiful evening for yours truly. Taking the wife, too, at the same time. We're headed to the Struts tonight at Culture Room, I believe. It's at the Culture Room. So if you're going to be at the Culture Room tonight, I shall see you. So make sure you say hi. Like I said, like I met several of you at the Cure concert. That was cool. That was cool. Don't bother. Don't ever be ashamed to, hey, oh, what's up? And say hi, whatever. I'm always open and willing to meet everybody that supports the show. So if you are going to be at the Struts tonight, I will see you tonight. The Cure was amazing on Saturday. We were the only city that got Love Cats. They ended the night with 10:15 Saturday night and Killing an Arab, which, you know, they only played Killing Arab, I want to say maybe 3 times in the tour. Trust, they played only 3 times in the tour. We got it. Wow. They Prayers for Rain. I didn't see that one in Atlanta. It was great. I ended up with about 50 different songs in the 3 concerts. So it was really, really cool because we saw them twice earlier in the week in Atlanta. And then we saw them on Saturday at the Kaseya Center, at the packed Kaseya Center. And it was awesome, man. What a great show Robert Smith and the Cure put on Saturday night. So we've got all of that going on. Obviously, do want to our condolences to the folks out in Chicago and Denver dealing with the floods, which I know have affected a lot of people. Man, we've had this flash flooding craze all over the world, man. Shit that just never used to happen. Now you could be in the middle of a desert in Las Vegas and in Nevada somewhere, and all of a sudden you've got a flash flood coming at you. It's really wacky, man. So thoughts and prayers with everybody there, obviously. So some of the stuff going on over the weekend, obviously our shooting in Baltimore too. Very sad, 2 dead, 28 injured. They're searching for the shooters, I think, the last time I checked last night. So some of the stuff going on around the country too that we cannot forget also. And we have our riotous French people out there. Boy, those French got love to riot, boy. They are on a roll. Anyway, we got a bunch of stuff to talk about. We are not going to have a long show today, and we won't have a long show tomorrow. We will have a show. We're going to continue following it because Damian Lillard might be something that could be breaking. You know, we seem to be on a Damian Lillard, Dalvin Cook, and Tyreek Hill watch. That's where we're at right now in South Florida. All right, those are the 3 watches we've got going on right now. And when is Damian Lillard going? When's Dame time going to end up here in Miami? Because 99.999% he's coming here. I don't care what anybody tells me. As I've told you, the Trailblazers can talk all the shit they want. If you listen to the segment yesterday, I explained it. They don't have leverage. They barely have any leverage here, to be quite honest. They can talk all the shit they want, but the reality is they have almost no leverage here. But anyway, and then we've got to find out what's going on with Dalvin Cook. When's he going to make a decision to finally join the Miami Dolphins? Because he's not going to get any deals out there, as I told you for a while, that the Dolphins weren't going to pay, and apparently nobody else is going to pay. So he'll end up settling and coming to his hometown team because the difference won't be much. And then, well, hey, we have our new Dolphins hat that we got over at Caneswear. Is this a badass hat or what? Huh? I know my man Sean has this hat also. He bought this hat too. Right, Sean? This is the one you bought also, right? I got this one because I went on Friday. I had to keep my word, right? Because, you know, if I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. Well, what are you going to do, Sean? There, you opened it up and then you closed, open, close, open, close.
Yes, I have that hat.
That's the one? Exactly. That's what I thought. He has good taste. What's it called? Remember I had my other. Do I have it here? Do I have the other Dolphin hat here? No. But I was wearing this Marlin hat that I got at Caneswear. This Marlins hat is badass. Badass sweep to the Braves, this weekend. That was terrible. But anyway, that other Dolphin hat, the black one with the old logo, I think it's downstairs. You guys, were fawning over it and all that. It's a badass hat. I told you it was at Caneswear. Well, guess what? It's not at Caneswear anymore. They're going to order some that look like it, but it won't be exactly like it. It may not have the A. And God, I'm forgetting the winner. Let me see. I have it here on my phone. But anyway, somebody won last week because he guessed it. And so I think it's Felipe A, right? Yes, it is. Felipe A ended up winning the hat. By the way, Felipe, you should be getting the hat today. So I raced over to Caneswear when I got off the air on Friday at Acura. And I said, let me go get this hat for this gentleman right now, just in case. So I call Jeff over at Caneswear. I said, hey, you got that black with the, the black hat with the old Dolphins logo? He goes, I'm looking at it right now. There's one left. I said, pull it aside. Put it under the counter. I'm on my way. So I went and I bought this one. And then I also bought the one for Felipe A. And I mailed it out right there and then. Hell, I sent Felipe a video and everything on it. And so just to show him, hey, it's on the way. I think you're getting I even paid UPS for you, buddy. Okay? Look at that. paid UPS for it. I didn't send it just regular mail. So Felipe A, you should be getting your Dolphins hat. And I'm expecting you, by the way, Felipe A, if you're watching. I don't even know if you're watching. But if you're watching, I'm expecting you to get the hat, put it on, take a picture, and send it to us on Twitter, bro. Okay? So there you go. It's a beautiful thing. Big O, why does the media hate Miami when it comes to sports talking Canes, Heat, and Marlins? I don't know, bro. I have no idea about the hate for Miami. I don't care because I am Miami. And so, like I told you guys, I don't worry about what other people say. I don't really follow it and all that stuff. There are certain people that I know that I'm not even going to bother. But you guys will listen to Colin Cowherd, and you'll listen to Chris Sims, and you'll listen to any of these idiots. And so if you know they're idiots already, why are you listening to them? You know what I'm saying? It's like I see Mike Tannenbaum, nice man, but once I see him on the air, you lost credibility already. I know who he is. He doesn't know football. Come on, man. And so it really, sometimes it's your own fault. Brian, you got to look in the mirror sometimes, my man. So if I keep telling you all the time that the guys like Cowherd and Baseless and those kind of guys, they're lazy. They don't really watch all the sports. Their producers prepare them, and then all they're doing is trying to come up with ways to be trolls. They may not even believe half the shit they're saying. That's kind of how the game is played now. This is why a lot of sports talk radio, they get two people. Somebody has to take the contrarian, even if they don't believe it. But it's the lame shit that they do to try to get a rise out of you. So that's why they do it. So, okay, let's get a rise. Oh, we know that they hate it when we go after Tua. Let's go after Tua. And so they bait you guys and all that kind of stuff. And we've had this conversation over and over and over again. And I don't understand. If you don't think the person's credible or good or a troll, but then you keep watching. And that's the part I never understand. There's tons of people like that I just don't bother. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I know who you are. I'm moving on. I'll go somewhere else. I'll turn the dial on the radio. I'll switch to TV channel or the platform or whatever it is. If the person that I know on the air is just, Mike Greenberg, like, bro, he's not going to add shit. What do I want to hear that guy? Not going to add anything. So that at one point or another, you guys have to do that. It's up to you. But if you want to just get riled up because you want to hear them say something that they may not even believe in, and then you're getting mad at them for no reason at all, because they're just playing a role. And that's where I'll tell you a story. Years ago, I was approached by one of my program directors, and they wanted me to play the opposite role from Joe on a certain subject. And I had to take the bad guy role. And I said, but wait a minute, what if I don't believe? Yeah, but that's not the point. And I said, well, that's the point with me. I'm the asshole. I'm the asshole. I'm sorry, but I'm the asshole. I'm not your fucking pet, dude. I'm not here to play the role because you want to and want to make me look like the bad guy. I do that on my own anyways every day. I'm the guy that does that on my own every day. When I give you the brutal honesty, then you get pissed at me, and then it becomes true, and then you go, damn it, dude, he was right. Shit. I hate that he said that, but he was right, because I believed it. I don't play that game. And I told him right away, no, I'm not doing that, bro. I'm not doing that. If I believed it, then I'll go after Joe like I've done with Joe many times. And guess what? Right every time. Every time. Every time. Every time he tried to tell me Fasano was a starter, wrong. Every time he tried to tell me Ndamukong Suh was going to make a difference in the defense, wrong. You know, all that stuff that, you know, I won those battles every time because when I say something, it's because I believe in it. I'm not going to be right every time. I'm going to be wrong sometimes, no doubt about it. But because I normally say what I believe in, more often than not, my batting record is pretty freaking good. You know? So that's just there's a game that's being played. It's played every day in front of you on First Take. It's played every day in front of you on radio shows across the country. That's why this here is a rarity right here. The solo host is a rarity because most hosts can't carry a show by themselves. They need help. They have to have one or two co-hosts. They have to have one or two or three chiming in producers, because in order for you to carry a show on your own, that is one hell of a challenge. But they feel like you have to have the banter. So you've got to find the yin and the yang. And somebody's got to take the other side no matter what, whether you believe in it or not. And then you've got to play that role. And that's just not me. You know, in radio, 80% of the salespeople will not even ask the host what they're selling. They just know the host doesn't have this topic or that topic or this topic. Oh, he doesn't have a car dealership. Oh, he doesn't have this. He doesn't have that. So, oh, yeah, he doesn't have a rug company. Okay, I sold this. And they walk into the studio and they hand you a script. Say, hey, I sold you a rug company. You never met the rug company. You never met the owner. You never tried the product. You never brought it home. You never tested it before you can tell the listener, hey, I tried it. It works. It doesn't. It sucks. This, that. Okay, I don't like it. I'm not representing it. You don't even have that choice in radio. I did. While I was in radio, I had salesmen come up to, hey, I sold you this. Yeah, you did? Really? I didn't meet the owner. I'm not representing shit. I need to see the product. I need to try it. And then the salesperson gets pissed because all they give a shit about is commission. They go back to the sales manager. Sales manager then comes to me and says, hey, I need you to do this. I say, hey, I need to first see the product and try it and see if I like it. Then I'll do it. Then I get the program director coming into me. So now I've got the salesperson pissed, the sales manager pissed, and I've got the program director pissed. Why? Because all they give a shit is about the money. They don't give a shit about you. But I give a shit about you, because if I tell you buy an Acura and then the Acura sucks, you're not going to buy Nature B. And then if you're not going to buy Nature B, then you're not going to call Cutter's Edge Pro, and you're not going to call. So if I represent Cutter's Edge Pro, it's because I know they kick freaking ass. So that way, when you use Cutter's Edge Pro and William and Mike dress up your house, your business, whatever, and they kick ass, then you're going to call KSDT CPAs because they are a top 100 firm in the country. That's why. And then you're going to call Acura because you're going to trust me. But if I lead you to one shitty sponsor, then you won't trust me for the other sponsors. But they don't see it that way. Because why? It's not the program's director's name on it. It's not the sales manager's name on it. They don't give a shit. One guy wants his check. The other guy wants his commission. That's how this game is played. Constantly. And that's what I try to tell you guys all the time. What you see up there is not the real thing, because they're not being real. It's the way it is. It's sad, but that's how it goes. They're saying Dame and his agent are going to force their way to Miami, so Portland is going to have no choice, and Hero's telling people he's getting traded. Steven, look, man, like I said from the get-go, because when this whole thing first broke, they've got the leverage, all that bullshit. They've got no leverage practically. Okay? Dane can easily tell people, I don't want to play for you. His agents, Dane was not going to do it. His agent's going to do that. Hey, you can trade for him, but he doesn't want to be there. So if you want to acquire $216 million of a guy that's going to be disgruntled, you go ahead and do that. And they're not going to do it. He wants to come to Miami. They'll find the third team or fourth team. They'll get him as many first rounders. They'll get the deal done one way or the other. Obviously, Tyler taking that off his header there in social media, something must be given there. So his agent must have gotten wind of something. All right. So they're talking about Tyler to the Nets as that third team. I don't know. We're going to have Ira on in 3 minutes, and he'll explain to us why are you waving, Ida? Why are you waving, Ira? Why are you waving? I know you're there. He's already there. You want to come on now? All right. So why don't we do this? Why don't we just see what the hell Ira thinks is going to happen here? Because we all know Damian Lillard's going to end up in Miami. This is all a bunch of bullshit. Joe Cronin can talk all the crap he wants. You just don't move $216 million just because you want to somewhere else, and then the guy's disgruntled and the team's not going to be happy and all that crap. He's coming here. They'll figure it out. And guess who'll figure it out for us? Ira Winderman. Next.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
Pat in Nashville, by the way, tells me protesters in France were seen holding signs that Dalvin Cook is signing with the Dolphins tomorrow. They seem pretty upset about that. Well, I just want to know, were the French at least holding up signs of Lillard to Miami? That's more important right now. I need to find out about Lillard. There he is, the man that is following this story, Ira Winderman for the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Good morning, sir. I hope you had a great weekend.
No, I had no weekend, and until this gets resolved, I'll have no weekend. And I guarantee that the Lillard deal will get done while I'm flying to Vegas, and they're just waiting. Their agents are saying, okay, when's Ira on the plane? Let's make sure the Wi-Fi.
You got internet on the planes now. So
yes, but they'll make sure the Wi-Fi doesn't work. They'll make sure, just to screw me. It's interesting, Big O. The reason I was waving to you is everyone, before I come on a lot of these appearances, including I did NBA TV last night, sort of says, well, I think Ira will say this. And then I'm like, hey, I'll tell you what I'm saying, but I do agree with you for this reason. And I mentioned this on NBA TV last night.
So ridiculous.
People think Bradley Beal got to where he wanted to go, or one of his final two destinations, because he had a no-trade clause. But in the NBA, the player's leverage is such, and I'm going to give you the perfect example. James Harden has not had a no-trade clause, but he got to Brooklyn actually, let's go back. He got to Houston when he wanted to be a leading man instead of Oklahoma City as a third wheel. He got to Brooklyn when he wanted to play with KD. He got to Philly when he didn't want to play with Kyrie. He'll probably get his way now where he wants to go next, to the Clippers, because that's what happens. Because you do not want – what business out there? And again, you can deal with Big O on the chat board when I'm done here in our Acura Pembroke Pines report. What business person out there goes into an interview with a prospective employee, and the employee says, I don't want to work here? What person hires that guy, let alone for an average of $50 million a year?
Nobody. That's why it's just it's $216 million. You just and whoever's acquiring it, you're also going to pay a tax probably, because you'll probably become a tax.
Hell yeah.
That guy. So it's more than 216. So if you know the guy wants to play in Miami, you know, the word is out. To me, that first day, they have the leverage. I was laughing at that from the first second, because there's one league in professional sports that the players really control where the hell they go. It's the NBA, buddy. It's the NBA freaking A. And they all get what they want. And it's just too much money to trade to someone that they're now going to have to be, it's the challenge is now I got to win this guy over and give him hundreds of millions of dollars. No, that doesn't make any sense. If I'm giving you hundreds of millions of dollars, you should love me. You should want to play with me. You should want to embrace me. And that's what he wants to embrace. He wants to embrace Miami, man. So
the one thing I'll say is he's a good guy and he's recognized. You've never heard bad stuff about Dame. So
he's fantastic. Please.
Does he want to harm that reputation? Matt Weiner, when I was talking to on NBA TV last night, had a really good point. This could be the rare case of a guy being a good guy hurting his bargaining position, because I could see a Greg Popovich going, you know what? If we bring him in, it'll be fine. He's a good guy. He'll come around. He'll play for Pop. He'll work with Wembanyama. He might make it work. So that does work a little against it. Look, if James Harden's not happy, we've seen it, Big O. the way he sabotaged the Rockets, the way he sabotaged the Nets when he wouldn't shoot the ball. We knew what was going on. Dame will never do that. On the other hand, I do like what's coming out in a lot of different venues saying what he has done for the Blazers for all these years. How could you send him to purgatory? Even
Ray
when
Bork. Ray Bork. That's
Yes.
all you need to know. If you have any history, I talked about it over the
Yes.
weekend. Ray Bork, dude, Boston was going nowhere.
Avalanche.
And that guy gave you freaking everything. He's a Hall of Famer. They did him the favor, sent him over to the Avalanche to kick the Panthers' ass 4 straight and win what he deserves, dude. You know what I'm saying? It's a Ray Bork moment is what you have to be in Portland right now. He did everything on his end. You failed him. Now treat him with class and put him in a position to win it all. And
I'll
send
give
him
you
to
I'll give you part 2 of that.
That's all it is.
And
Go
there's
find
a
your
part 2 to that. I
damn
understand that the Blazers don't want Tyler Hero because they have Anthony Simons, Shaden Sharp, and Scoot Henderson. You know what? Be a great GM. Find a way to find a third team to make this work. And I'm going to give you a perfect example, Orlando Alzagari. When Jimmy Butler wanted to come to the Heat and the Heat had no cap space, Andy Ellisberg sat there in his supercomputer and he said, you know what we'll do? We'll send Josh Richardson to the Sixers. We'll send Hassan Whiteside to the Blazers. We'll take on Myers Leonard's contract. We'll send a first-round pick to the Clippers. We'll bring back Mo Harkless. He got 4 teams involved, and he found a way. Be a great GM, Joe Cronin. Do your job. Say, I understand Tyler Hero doesn't work in Portland. I have no issue with that. I agree with every pundit who says that. There's 28 other teams. Find a team that he does work with. Get extra picks out of that. Get a player at a different position. Throw in Yusuf Nurkic to the Heat. I have no issue with that. I went on NBA TV and I got criticized by Heat Nation on this Big O last night, so I'll throw this back at you. I said the Heat should tell the Blazers this. You can't have Jimmy Butler. You can't have Bam Adebayo. Anyone else you want, let's make a deal. There's a little bit of pushback on Caleb Martin, just like and I get but you have to make it work also. So that's what I would say. I would say if a Heat deal for Damian Lillard included anyone beyond Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, I'm fine with it. Now let the GMs work. Do your job. That's my thought.
Yeah, I would be a little reserved on Caleb, but I kind of learned my lesson with Shaq.
Yes.
And so and Shaq scared me. Like Damian doesn't scare me. Shaq scared me because he was 400 pounds with a toe problem. And so I'm like, wow, is Riley really going to reach him? And he did reach him for a year. I will say that at least. Then Shaq also went in the direction I expected it to go.
And then a year later, that was it. He went to Phoenix. And there is that a-hole issue. Here's the difference. You saw that festering with the Lakers with Kobe. My way or the highway. The two of them bumping heads.
Yeah. And letting himself go, too, on top of all of that.
Yes.
Okay? That was
but you can't find that with Lillard. You could say, hey, Lillard could have had an issue with C.J. McCollum having those games when he's 1 for 15 and keeps shooting. You could have said Lillard could have had his issues with some of the bad draft choices from the Blazers, but he never made it public and made it an issue, and he wouldn't do that here either. Now, Big O has always told me, Ira, be careful of age. He's 33. He has 4 years left. You're getting to that Jimmy Butler problem area. But as with Shaq, live in the moment right now. The Heat always find a way to come out from the dark side on the other end. Might be a couple of uneven seasons, but you've seen the progression from the big three to Goran Dragic, to Jimmy Butler, to this latest incarnation. They find a way, even with the Kyle Lowry contract, which had been a ballast contract for the first 2 years. They still went to the Eastern Conference Finals and the NBA Finals. They find a way out of the darkness. They wind up seeing the light through all of these deals, even Chris Bosh's illness.
Yeah, no, and Brian Grant, that was also
Alonzo.
They find ways to get out of all of that. You have to make this move because you've already proven that your window is here now. You are a contender, but you need that other star that they don't have. And Damian can give you at least another year or two, which is what probably Jimmy's window is left, another year or two. And then maybe that third year might be a little ugly, and that fourth year might be a little ugly for the Heat and all that, and trying to get the salaries. But brother, if I'm the LA Rams and you got your title and then you got to deal with a year or two of fuzziness after that, we're good. You're talking about your 4th title. You're talking about another trip to the finals. We're good. We can deal with the bad. What I can't deal with and what frustrates me is that the last 4 years, you haven't been able to find that star. So this is why now this is imperative. You have to make this move. This is the only move. And this is the other thing I loved about what the Heat did this offseason. They have shown incredible discipline, because I did not want Bradley Beal. I didn't think that was the deal to make. Plus, I don't think he's a dog, to be quite honest.
Okay.
I just don't see dog like I see Lillard dog. And then you didn't panic on Max. I know the Gabe part really hurt because it's the point guard. But if you're going to get Lillard, you got to then give that up. And then the Oladipo move. Okay, so you gave up your 2nd rounder, but now you got it back in the Strus. So at least that's a wash, but you unloaded the salary. You have set yourself up for the only move you can make this offseason. And either you go for Damian Lillard or you strike out and move on to next year. I'm fine with that. What I'm not fine with is the desperation moves of Whiteside and Dion Waiters and Granger and Bob and Lowry and Duncan and Oladipo. There's a lot of Arizas and all. Those are the moves.
Tyler Johnson, James Johnson,
all those kind of moves since the big 3. Those are the things that have pissed me off about them, and some of them have had desperation taste to them. This offseason has been beautifully disciplined,
and which is why, Big O, because I didn't get a chance to talk to you since the other 2, you have to pull back a little on Gabe Vincent and Max Strus. We love them as people, we love them as players, we love what they've done as developmental, but we've learned a lesson. The Duncan Robinson lesson, the Tyler Johnson lesson. You don't settle for good. You don't settle for good enough. This league is not fair in the salary hierarchy. It's all about the top end and the lower end. That's just the way it is. In a sport where you only play 5 guys at a time, you damn well better spend for your top end guys and know their ultimate guys. When you get stuck in the middle with a bunch of nice players, that's all you have. And you know what? They got nice players. They got Josh Richardson. He's your nice player who replaces Max Strus. They got Thomas Bryant.
Right. I love that pickup. I love that pick. He will play his best, mark my words.
Sure.
He will play his best basketball of his entire career right here. That's a Heat player. I've watched that guy for several years. That guy fits what they want to do.
And Thomas Bryant is a huge upgrade on Cody Zeller and Omer Yurtseven. He's a guy who can give you double-doubles. He's a guy you can actually take Bam out of the game and not go, oh, my God, what's going to happen now? You have a guy like that.
I didn't realize that he was actually pretty good. 3.8.
Yes.
And I bet you they get him to 38% here. I bet you. I bet you from 36.8, I bet he gets to 38 here.
And I like the Orlando Robinson move. Hey, as a 3rd string center, you know what the difference is? With Yurtseven, you saw he was never going to defend. He just can't physically. Okay, that's part of his thing. I think as a 3rd string center, Orlando Robinson, nice developmental guy. Again, if he wants money, bye-bye. But on the low end of the salary scale now, hey, that's beautiful. And again, I just posted a story at the Sun Sentinel with the current depth chart. I know we want Dame Dollar. I know they want Lillard. But if you look at the current depth chart right now, and I tell you, Big O, you can have a starting lineup of Bam Adebayo and Kevin Love and Jimmy Butler and Tyler Hero and let's say Duncan Robinson for shooting. Not overwhelming, but you also have Josh Richardson, Thomas Bryant, Jaime Jaquez off the bench, and Caleb Martin as a 6th man. That's a competitive 9 deep. This is what you and I are talking about. This is not a team that said, we went to the finals, we lost out on maybe a Lillard or a top guy, but they're not going to the toilet. They're still going to be a competitive team, a playoff team, and then once they get to the playoffs, Jimmy Butler raises his game, Spo raises his game, you're still going to have a shot. That's the difference with this team. They're not going to do this like so many NBA teams, going up and down. They're going to find a way to keep themselves in the mix. They've done that so far. Now we wait on the big move.
I'm going to tell you something a little bit. I'm going to get a little ahead of myself on this one. I'm hoping that in this trade, if you lose Caleb, I hope you keep Jaime.
Yes.
And why I'm saying this is watching the highlights, watching some stuff on YouTube on him, because I watched a lot on him now over the last week.
He's a man.
Yeah, he's Wade. And slow down, folks. like, because I did this on Saturday. Slow down. He's weighed because of maturity. He's going to come into this league and make an impact right away and help you because he's mature. He's crafty, dude. And so I like that in Caleb too. Caleb's a guy that can attack the rim, can fill the lane, can shoot from the outside, can distribute. He's smart. He's intelligent. He's crafty.
Yes.
I like this kid too in the
You're
same
right.
sense that he has a lot of that, and he can find his own shot too. Something that I think Butler, since you want Dane here to help carry the load, and then you also want a guy that can alleviate the load off of Butler when he's off the floor. Caleb's that guy, but I don't want to lose Jaime and Caleb. So I want to kind of keep one of those guys so I can, have the backup to Jimmy. Okay. So am I getting too ahead of myself here?
No, you're not. And as a matter of fact, I want to clarify one thing because people sort of read it the wrong way. On Saturday, the Heat signed Jaime Jaquez to his first rounder contract. That means he can't be traded for 30 days. But I want people to get perspective. Damian Lillard's not going to play another game of meaning for another 3+ months. So they still can include Jaime in a deal and just say, hey, we'll announce this August 3rd, August 5th. You know how this works, Big O. Deals are made and then timing elements are put into play. So again, if they say either Jaime or Caleb, you sit back and you decide where it goes there. They could still put Jovic into a trade. There's still plenty of parts. There are timing elements. But again, it's not like Lillard has to be in uniform tomorrow, next week, or next month. There's enough time there also. So there are plenty of things they could still put into play.
All right, so who's the third, fourth team in all of this? Nets for sure? Because everybody keeps talking.
It's interesting. I was told yesterday.
Started with the Nets thing. Everybody's gone crazy with the 5 picks and all that stuff.
I think the Nets were mentioned for Tyler. What I was told is that it looks like the Nets are not going to be the team that winds up with him. I was told maybe Oklahoma City. It seems like when the Heat need to dump someone, you call Oklahoma City.
They got picks.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about Oklahoma City because with the Heat have dumped Myers Leonard there. They've dumped Victor Oladipo there. It's sort of the Heat's way station. But again, Andy Ellisberg is great. I don't know if Joe Cronin is great. You find a spot from a player and you work backwards. They should be sitting in Portland saying 28 other teams. Where does Tyler Hero fit? Okay, we can reroute Tyler Hero to your team. What can you reroute to us? Look, Tyler is a very good player. I think he's a number 3. Maybe with the Clippers, he could be their number 3 behind George and Kawhi Leonard. I don't know. Hell, maybe if the Sixers are moving Harden, he could be the number 3 with Maxey and Embiid there. You can find a way where you don't have to sell him as he's a number 2 or number 1. He's not. That's not what he is right now. But you should be able to make it work. I think the Heat, when they get done, this could be a 3 or 4 team trade, and Andy Ellisberg will have everything mapped out and all figured out. If they have to unlock a first-round pick from Oklahoma City, I do know this. If the Blazers seriously think they can just sort of, I don't want to say screw Dame, but just force him to a place, it's going to get ugly, and I think the Blazers will lose a ton of credibility when they try to have their next franchise guy. Even in the darkest days of Dwayne Wade not getting his meeting with Mickey Arison, the Heat always knew, at worst, he goes back home to Chicago. At worst, he goes to a place that he wants to be if he's not in Miami. The Heat knew that door was open. The Heat have been very careful when players are out of here to get them to places that they might want to go or take care of players. Goran might not have wanted to go to Toronto, but when they gave him an extra $19 million, he was a little bit happier about going to Toronto. So you see which teams take care of your players and which don't. Portland knows they have that spotlight right now.
What was the dude with the U that they took care of in a, I don't know, wink type of way? Uriah,
Beno Udre. They needed cap space to add a player and he was injured. So they basically said, we're going to waive you now. You're going to shockingly agree to give up salary. And yet next summer, you're going to wind up with a guaranteed contract of $2 million to come into camp and we'll take care of you. Yeah, that's what you do. You take care of your own. You do right by your players.
Yeah, they do that. All right, so you're expecting a third. Could there even be a 4th team in this thing?
Oh, yeah. There could be a 5th or 6th team. I mean, you remember the Antoine Walker, Jason Williams deal with the Grizzlies. Remember when they redid the team before they won their title in 2006 with Posey? And it was the Pelicans, and it was the Celtics, and it was I think the Suns were involved. They were moving players right and left. That's the thing. Andy Ellisberg understands the higher math that Orlando Alzagari and Ira Winderman don't, because that's what he does. Be great at what you do. That's what Andy Ellisberg does. It literally is like a Russell Crowe in A Beautiful Mind. He's in front of the screen there. He's moving things around. No one else can see it, but he'll find a way to get it done.
Okay, the other thing is, if Jovic comes back, if Jovic does join the team now and bulked up and all that, plus you've added Orlando, plus you've added Thomas Bryant, and then you also signed Kevin Love. And one of the things I talked about over the weekend is I don't mind bringing back Kevin Love, but I do want to remind you, you got him while he was barely used in Cleveland, kept fresh, and then you kind of broke glass and used him as much as you could down the stretch. He is an older player. He could wear down in a full season. But what I love was that they've got some other bigger bodies. So now they really don't even have to, they can pace Love.
I agree. But not only pace him, you're looking at Jovic.
That's very important. I think.
You're looking at Jovic. I'm going to give you another name to look at. Okay. I do think there's a chance that Haywood Highsmith can be the next Caleb Martin. Undersized 4, but a guy who gets it done. They trusted this guy in the NBA Finals. And he had playoff moments also. I think this could be the year of the Highsmith for the Heat. Again, build value.
That's why I worry about Strus. I'm good with the Strus loss because I have Highsmith.
Pipeline.
So the Gabe loss was the one like, okay, now you need a point guard. But if you're going to get Lillard, then we're good. Now you still got to work on a young guy just in case, because Lowry is probably going to be moved at one point.
I totally agree. The one spot in the Heat's current depth chart that I posted at sunsentinel.com is right now I have Tyler listed as the starting point guard because he's not going back to the bench, ego. And Kyle Lowry is the backup because he's 37 limitations. I don't feel very comfortable about that. I don't think Tyler's a true point guard. Kyle Lowry could end at any minute. We saw with the knee last year. So I do think you need more there. Now, the thought is this. Jimmy handles a lot. Bam is a facilitator. When Corey Joseph went to the Warriors, I thought that would have been a good name for the Heat. So I still think there is a point guard that they need to add just to give themselves a little more. They have 2 roster spots left. I know you're not overwhelmed with Drew Smith, but he did have some moments at the start of last season. They brought him in to settle their summer league roster. That's another option. Yeah. If not Lillard, they have to have one other name available to fill that spot. I do agree with you, Big O.
Yeah, and by the way, knowing these guys, if there's a 3-4 team mix here, there might be a point guard that's also coming this way too, and that we're not even talking about. That might be somebody's backup in all of this. So I think they see it because we see it, and they know more than we do.
There's always an Ish Smith to be named later. I agree. Yes.
Right, and nothing wrong with an Ish Smith actually. That's a solid backup point guard, to get. So overall, I got to say, I really love the approach of the Heat. I think it was smart. I think it's been very, very deliberate and intelligent. I think, because you've got to. This is the guy you got to get. This is the guy, and this is the perfect fit for him too. On top of all of that, I mean, it just God. All right, do you think this thing happens within the next week or two?
I think this thing happens every time I refresh Twitter because I have no life right now. I feel like I can't between my.
You can't let it linger too, right? Everybody's got to move on. That's why I say that it's got to happen.
You know what? There's yes and no. You would rather it not linger, but you don't want timing to force your hand to give too much. This is liar's poker. This is the Blazers saying we have 28 other teams, and this is the Heat going BS. You don't. So you go back and forth. So I don't want the Heat to have to throw in an extra first-round pick. The last time the Heat rushed Big O, if you remember, was the night they had the big celebration for the Big Three. And they had to get LeBron signed and Chris Bosh signed. And all of a sudden, willy-nilly, they were sending first-round picks to the Raptors and the Cavaliers to get those guys the extra year and make it work because they had to have their big show and not 5, not 6. This will be deliberate. This will be deliberate. Again, Damian Lillard will not play another NBA game that counts until the end of October. You have time. Don't let Portland force you into anything. You have your assets. They're lined up. You have what you would need to get it done. And if I'm Portland, maybe you go around the league one more time and see what you can get. I still would rather have Tyler Hero as a trade asset than Ben Simmons. I don't care about a whole bunch of picks. The problem with Heat picks is always the same thing. They're never going to be very good because the Heat are very good. Deal with it, Portland. You got a decade of Dame Lillard. He did right by you. You went for youth. Be the team that other people going forward. Wow, the Blazers did right by him. That's a team I could look at and have confidence in. Or the Blazers are a bunch of clowns.
Didn't they do it for Clyde, right? Didn't they
And
send
Bill
him?
Walton, Clyde and Bill Walton. They have
Right.
taken that was different. That was different ownership. That was different general managers.
But
Now
it's
you
the
have
right
to
thing to do. But it's the right thing to do.
It's
That's
the
all.
right thing to do when you tell a player, we're going to take care of you. We're going to get a veteran. And instead you sign Jeremy Grant for some ridiculous contract and do nothing else. That's when you have to move forward. I agree.
I thought for sure Jeremy Grant would convince him that that was, a
Boy, you
title team.
talk about getting a pile of money as a +1 and all of a sudden sitting there. Think about that. Jeremy Grant's making almost as much as Damian Lillard. Sometimes it's good to be right player in the right place, right, Big O?
Yeah, you're right. All right, what are you doing the Sun Sentinel following this crazy ass story so everybody
Well,
can
again,
keep up?
follow that depth chart I posted today, and you can just see that, hey, if you have to be in a holding pattern, not the end of the world. They made smart moves. Tonight at 6 o'clock in Sacramento, ESPN2, I believe, the Heat will play the Lakers Summer League team. I'm really curious to see Jaime Jaquez, what he does. I want to see what Nikola Jovic does. I want to see Orlando Robinson. They said they're going to move him on the perimeter more, shoot threes. Jamal Cain's going to be out there. Jeremy Bouye, one of your favorites from last year's Summer League. This, I know it's Summer League, but it's worth watching.
I love oh damn it. Sean, who's the guy that we fell in love with towards the end? Number 8, I believe it was.
Jamal Cain, right? Yes.
Right. Dude, Jamal Cain.
And I think he has a chance.
Intrigued with.
Yeah, I think he has a chance, like Orlando Robinson, to get a full regular contract. They still have 2 minimum slots left also. This is a good year to watch Heat Summer League. Yeah.
He's tough. I wonder if he built up his body because he's a little while he's tough and physical,
right.
He's not really the biggest guy.
No, he's slight of build. He's a 2-3, so it'll be interesting. But there's a lot to watch tonight, so keep an eye on that. We'll have a story on that tomorrow in our Sun Sentinel.
Like I've said, the Heat are one of the few teams in the NBA that make the Summer League fun, actually. Yes. Every year now, because there's always something to look forward to. All right, follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat. Catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel and catch him twice a week here doing his thing with the Acura Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat, and NBA Report. Ira, thank you, sir. Have a terrific week and safe flight.
I will catch you talking from Vegas, crack of dawn. Thanks, Big O.
You got it. There you go. Ira Winderman. Well, we can get you later if you want, Ira, so you can sleep in a little bit. You don't have to do it like that. What this would be like at 7:20 in the morning, so there you go. Danny Finns fan says, new listener since yesterday. Keep up the great work, Big O. Happy 4th. Wow, since yesterday. Okay, thank you, sir. That is your Miami Heat and NBA report.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat and NBA Report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig's Inn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
All right. I like Jokic more than Jamie. Well, I mean, we don't even know much about both, you know what I'm saying? But I do like the Jaime Jaquez kid. I watched a whole bunch of highlights. I watched some like pieces of games and all that. Really like the kid. And he reminds me of Wade in the maturity of his game. Not the same player, not going to be a Hall of Famer and hang in the rafters. And I'm not saying that. I'm not saying anything of the talent. I'm just saying his maturity. I love his basketball mind coming into the NBA. I think it's at an elite level that it will allow him to have some success in the NBA because it looks like he's basketball smart. I mean, dude, he can create his own shot. He can pass. He's a terrific passer. Kid can shoot. Overall, he can defend. That's the other thing, They got Josh Richardson who can defend, Thomas Bryant who can defend, Jaime Jaquez who can defend. There's a little bit of a theme also going on with some of the players that they're bringing in. They're trying to get more people that can actually play defense because they had too many guys that were only offensive-minded and not enough defensive-minded players. I don't know if you also see Orlando Robinson is another kid that likes to play defense too. So I'm with Ira, and I won't be able to watch it live because I'll be at the concert tonight, but I'll have it recorded, and I guarantee you I'll watch that Summer League game on Tuesday at some point, for sure. I watch all the Heat Summer League games. I actually watch other Summer League games too, for the hell of it. But I do love the Summer League. Don't forget, folks, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show on Cash App or Venmo. And we always get 100% of the donation on Cash App or Venmo. And you can do it on Super Chat, which Jose Lucas just did. And thank you, sir. He says, media, Dame request a trade, request to Miami only media. No, not there. Go to Philly or Boston. Can't wait to be the most hated team again. It's why do they pick Miami? Oh, maybe because it's a great organization. Maybe because since the day that Pat Riley arrived, you became actually a team that mattered. And since Pat Riley's arrived, you constantly go to the playoffs. You constantly win. You rarely ever have bad seasons. I think we've had 2 or 3 maybe in 27 years. You've got like 16, 17, something stupid, 15 division titles. You've got 7 trips to the NBA finals. You've got 11 trips to the conference finals. You've got 3 titles. You've got players. I was at the arena. I was at the Kaseya Center on Saturday. I look up Olympics, Hall of Fame, Hall of Fame, Hall of Fame, Hall of Fame. I mean, I'm sorry. Of course you want to be a part of this organization. The only other organizations are like the Spurs, the Warriors, and then the 2 royalty teams, which are the Lakers and the Celtics, pretty much. It's just like the Heat is kind of behind those teams here of the last, 25 years or whatever. Obviously, the Celtics titles are more even in the distance past, but still, they're still royalty. They still have won a crap ton of titles in their history. The Heat is behind very few teams in this league and currently run better than most. That's why players want to be here. I don't blame them. They're given the opportunity. I don't care if you're a scrub. I don't care if you're a decent player. I don't care if you're an all-star or a superstar. You're going to become a better superstar, a better all-star, a better good player, better scrub player, whatever. You're going to walk away, and you're going to walk away with a chance, if you're a lesser player, to go get money somewhere else. Right? Because agents should say, hey, man, what we really need to do is get you to the Heat. You'll play your best season, and that will then lift you up, and we can get you a bigger contract. I bet you a bunch of agents have done that already. Oh, they can hate the Heat all they want, but what they're hating is excellence. What they're hating is a franchise that does things the right way. Are they perfect? Of course not. They're going to make mistakes. But hell, through those mistakes, look at what they've done in the last 4 years. Even with mistakes, Lowry and Duncan and Oladipo and, a couple other bad deals in that stretch, you still have gotten to 3 Eastern Conference Finals and 2 NBA Finals. Who the hell can say that? It's awesome. It's awesome. So let them hate all they want, dude. They can hate every second of their lives. They can also suck it because the Heat organization is exceptional. Big O, send Kyle Lowry and Ben Simmons to Portland. There you go. Jovic can pass, shoot, and is 6'10". Yes, 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 and yes. Brandon says the struts tonight, DVR action for Summer League for us. Yes, sir. Man of 1,005 holes loves himself some Summer League also. Big O, UD's jersey will be up in the Raptors. Yes, or Rafters, not Raptors. The Raptors are in Toronto. Big O, I'll be buying Lillard's jersey once available. You should. People who are glad Hero is leaving Miami are just plain haters. Facts. Well, if Hero's leaving because you're getting Lillard, you can be happy. I'm sorry, dude. I'm guilty. I'll give you Tyler Hero every day of the week and twice on Sundays if you're giving me Lillard. I have no problem with that. So if I'm a bad guy for wanting Damian Lillard and a chance at a title when I know that Tyler Hero's not going to bring me the title, with Damian I have a shot at a title, yeah, well, I'm the bad guy. Say hello to the bad guy. Let's see. Jamie Zorrea. Good morning, Big O and Sean, Fins Nation from San Jose, California. I hope everybody had a great weekend. Remember to smash the like button. Please, please, please. It's very important. Big O back home in Pompano, says GP Trap. And he also says, hit that like button. Very important to hit that like button. Big O, why are you not entertaining Nathan's hot dog eating contest? My favorite event on the 4th. I really don't care about hot dog eating contests, to be quite honest. I know some of you like that stuff, but yeah, it does nothing for me, to be quite honest. I find it disgusting watching people eat hot dogs and dunk them in water and shove them in their face. And yeah, no, the only hot dog eating contest that I watch constantly, because I have to run into it, is the one in Meatballs. That's it. You know, if I can watch Bill Murray, you know, trying to inspire the fat kid. What was his name? So, God bless. I forgot his name. But anyway, that's the one right there. That's what he's choking him. He's moving him forward. Come on. You know, and all, it's funny. It's just funny. So, you know, that's about the only hot dog, because that one at least is funny. There's something to it. But the other ones are just gross, bro. Really, really disgusting. Oh, did you ever see the Grateful Dead back in the day? Do you like their music? Their music is all right. It doesn't really rock me. Saw them once. Not a big deal. I know that some of you swear by the Grateful Dead. I have friends that love the Grateful Dead. So I get it, but they're all right. Touch of Grey and stuff. Yeah, I like some of their songs, but I'm not really like this fanatical fan of theirs, to be quite honest. But they're all right. I'm not going to tell you they're a bad band or anything. They're a terrific band. Just not necessarily something that really wows me. Put it that way. Buenos dias, Big O and Sean, and good morning to all on the chat board, says Lenny Pena. Let's see. Leon Fresco. Thank you for the love in the super chat. Trade Dalvin Cook for Dame. Problem solved. I like it. No, I don't, actually. I want both. We're going to get both anyways. Ever since the bucket hat, Tyler had to go. That bucket hat was bad, Danny. That was bad. Oscar Quintero says, greetings from Lehigh Acres. We're getting Lillard. Oh, yeah. I just think it's a matter of time. That Joe Cronin guy couldn't be more full of shit. He's so full of shit, his eyes are brown. Adrian Garcia says, Chris Haynes basically saying that not other teams is going to trade for Dame. He said, it's all my... Of course, dude. You're not giving up $216 million to a guy that says, I don't want to play for you. So when the teams pick up the phone and call the agents, it's, yeah, you can trade for him if you want, but he doesn't want to play for you. He wants to play for Miami. He wants to be in Miami. That's what's going to make him happy. Being with you will not make him happy. So you want to trade for him? Go ahead. Who the hell is going to trade for him and his taxes? Because you're going to become apron 1 or 2. I don't know where your team stands, but anybody pretty much that acquires Damian Lillard is going over some kind of apron. So now you're willing to pay $216 million plus all the taxes on that. That doesn't make sense to me. There is no leverage. Problem that we have in this country is that, and it comes from the media and then it trickles down to the rest of you, because on average, we don't think for ourselves. We're like sheep. We follow others instead. And then we repeat the same thing because we don't think for ourselves. And from the get-go, I thought they had the leverage completely, not Portland, because that's how it works in the NBA. You can't trade for these giant contracts if they don't want to play for you. You just don't force the square peg in the round hole. It's guaranteed money, bro. It's dangerous. This ain't football where they can cut your ass if it ain't guaranteed.
And if they trade you, none of your money's guaranteed, pretty much. The only thing guaranteed is your signing bonuses. That's it. And then maybe a roster bonus. But if you're not on the team, you don't get the roster bonus. Now, do want to tell you, first of all, let's before I do anything, let me tell you a little bit about EJD Construction, because we love talking about Eric and the great people at EJD Construction. I'm going to give you something here on the Dolphins that we need to talk about. 305-433-4843. That is my guy, Eric. He is the owner. That's his personal cell number. If you live only in Dade and Broward counties, they service only Dade and Broward counties here in South Florida. And folks, whatever it is you're looking to do, we're talking about major custom home construction, major home remodeling. We're not talking about a handyman. We're talking about somebody that is going to build a second floor for you, build an efficiency, build an entire, what's that called? It's kind of like an efficiency, a separate apartment in your, because we have a couple listeners that have done that now, that they're building kind of like an efficiency so they can use it as an Airbnb. Some people, because of what's been going on economically, families are consolidating, and some people are moving in with their in-laws or whatever, and you got to expand the home, got to add a room. He could do that for you. Maybe your kitchen is old and you need to gut it out and modernize it. They can do that for you. We had a listener, unfortunately, had a fire in their home. So they had to remediate the entire home. That's gutting the entire home because the fire ruined it. They can do that. You need to, update your roof. They can do that too. If your insurance company is telling you, hey, your roof is too old, they can do all of those things. Full contractor, folks. That's what you're going to love about Eric. He's been at this for over 20 years. AAA plus rating from the Better Business Bureau. Call my guy, Eric. Here's his personal cell phone, 305-433-4843. All right, let's start off hour number 2. And David Furones is going to join us. So we'll talk a little Dolphins with him. And then I'll give you my thoughts on the Tyreek Hill situation too. That will start off hour number 2 right here of the Big O Radio Show.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Miles an hour. That's a Category 4 hurricane. 3 deaths are reported in Florida after more than 24 were killed in the Caribbean. This
With more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes, Welton Rayom is committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Dolphins fans, time to get insight on your favorite team with your favorite reporter with an Expos hat. Sports Illustrated's Alan Poupart in our EJDConstruction.com Miami Dolphins report, exclusively on a Big O radio show.
All right. Now, Alan has changed a little bit. He took off his, Montreal Expos hat.
He got younger.
Yeah, he got younger. He what's that called? Grecian Formula 44. His beard now, so it's he's changed a little bit here. No, seriously, folks, our friend David Furones, obviously a friend of the program, and hopefully we can get him to join permanently. But David's going to fill in for Poop over the next 3 weeks, so that's why he is here. So that's why we've got David doing his thing with the EJDConstruction.com Miami Dolphins and NFL report. David, good morning, my man. You've had a good weekend?
Yeah, good morning to you, Big O. Always a pleasure to join. And, just chilling a lot this summer. I'll take a little bit of a trip a little bit right before training camp, but can still join the show that week. And then, have a friend's bachelor party. And then, just counting down the days till training camp. It's right around the corner. It always hits a little bit quicker than you think.
All right, well, we need a hit in the middle of the bachelor party. I mean, that's
I think you're gonna get me the day that I'm flying out. So I might. It's in New Orleans. Maybe you'll catch me already out there.
Okay, I'm gonna send Sean to follow you and shit, so that way we can definitely get all the juicy parts of the trip. All right, so yesterday, Drew Rosenhaus was on Channel 7. And I tripped out completely because the tease leading into the segment was Agent Drew Rosenhaus will join us to talk about Dalvin Cook. And I'm like, wait a minute, Dalvin's not his client. Isn't Tyreek Hill his client? Why isn't he talking about Tyreek Hill? And in that segment, there was no mention whatsoever of Tyreek Hill. What does that tell you?
Well, I mean, yeah, I imagine Drew Rosenhaus has it set up where he establishes what will and won't be spoken of on those segments. So I think that's a topic that he would like to stay away from, Tyreek Hill. So, and right now everyone's got Dalvin Cook on their mind, although they also probably do have the Tyreek Hill incident on their mind and what implications that could potentially have for the start of the season. But I mean, right now that's what everyone's interested in is what's going to happen with Dalvin Cook. Are they going to add that luxury piece to a running back core that right now is already looking pretty solid? I mean, I think the Dolphins are fine with what they have. You can always add more.
It's about the O-line, not the running backs, dude.
Yeah, that's the thing.
If the left guard and the right tackle get fixed, brother, you can be behind the line and you'll be productive. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's more so where maybe a lot of people would have liked the funds to go toward. But when you have this $13 million plus in salary cap room to play with after that post June 1st Byron Jones release, then you can maybe offer some of that to Dalvin Cook. Now, probably not the double digit per year that he's looking for. I don't think many running backs are getting that with the way the market is these days. But most importantly is to get that O-line working. And I think Mike McDaniel has an idea that he can get the most out of the Austin Jacksons, the Liam Eichenbergs in a second year under his system. So that's the plan he's going with, along with getting some veteran guys to provide the depth and potential competition there in Cedric Ogbuehi and Isaiah Wynn. So that's the plan that the Dolphins are working with right now up front.
And it's a lot of what I've said that, and this is our problem with us and them right now, because on our side we've seen Jackson for 3 years, so a lot of people have kind of given up, and the injuries last year didn't change their mind. Don't give them a break. Whereas and Eichenberg too, you've seen him for a couple years and it just hasn't convinced you. But on their end, they've only been with him for 1 year, and their year was injury riddled. And I know, because I get to talk to some of these people behind the scenes, and they were convinced that Eichenberg was turning the corner. And I will say this about Austin Jackson. He started to look better in training camp in the preseason right before that high ankle injury, and that completely derailed his year this year. So I understand the Dolphin fan base and even media members that have run out of patience with Eichenberg and Jackson, but I also understand that McDaniel and his staff say, hey guys, no, we see talent there. We've only been around these guys 1 year. We're not ready to give up on them. And so I kind of understand both. You know what I'm saying? Because it's almost like the coaches aren't necessarily blaming their failures on them overall. They think they didn't really have the foundation to have success. These coaches feel like they can give the foundation to Austin Jackson and Eichenberg to have success. Do you kind of read it the same way?
Yeah, and I was kind of the same mindset previously of, boy, you really need to find something else, another direction to go at right tackle and probably left guard as well, although Liam Eichenberg was turning that corner right around the midseason point when he got hurt in Detroit, and that kind of derailed him, the same way Austin Jackson had his season derailed after people probably had some high hopes from watching him in training camp at right tackle. Then a conversation that I and Joe Shad had with Mike McDaniel at owners meetings late March. And he kind of, in his words, convinced me a little bit that, yeah, these guys maybe do deserve that second year in the system. He brought up examples that he's coached in his past, like Laken Tomlinson, where in San Francisco, that he was looking along the same lines 1 year into the system, but then that second year he really took off, and then has earned Pro Bowl honors since then, and has gotten 2 other contracts. So you never want to judge a guy too early and then have him go off and do better somewhere else. But so kind of hearing that from McDaniel, I kind of did come along to the way of thinking that, yeah, you could see these guys, give them this year, and then if it's still not working this year, then you need to move on. And then, hey, if you do get what you need out of them, then that's fantastic.
Yeah, then the pick worked out finally because you had the right people coaching them and putting them in the positions to be successful.
That's the other thing.
And Lyman is so notorious for failing in one place and succeeding in other places. Yeah. My God, that is one position that really has traveled a lot and has succeeded in their next spot, not their original spot where they were drafted. It's just one of those positions that's very odd in a way. Going back to Tyreek, one of the things I've talked about is the one thing that I would have liked to hear that I have never heard so far is Tyreek has never come out to profess his innocence. He doesn't have to say anything else. There's an investigation going on, bro. All you got to do is do what you're a little young, but about 20 years ago, Michael Irving was, accused of being with some whore and cocaine in a hotel room, this, that, and he vehemently denied it. I mean, he denied, he says, I'm innocent. And then he says, when I'm cleared, use the same kind of energy. And when he was cleared, he said, he told the media, he ripped into the media, said, come on, use the same kind of energy you use to say I'm guilty. And by the way, what has happened in this Marriott situation, he's professed his innocence from the get-go. So has his lawyer. Okay? So they don't say much about the case. You don't want to trump it. Okay? Trump doesn't just say he's innocent. He then sticks his foot and leg and everything in his mouth and starts saying all kinds of other stupid shit, and he gets himself in trouble. Tyreek could just declare his innocence. His agent, 2 weeks in a row, has been on Channel 7. 2 weeks in a row has never said, my client is innocent. He'll be cleared of all of this. That's all you got to say. That doesn't get in the way of any investigation. You're not giving away any information. No lawyers are going to be pissed at you. All you're doing is declaring your innocence. The fact that there's been no innocence declared at any point, is that a little disturbing?
Yeah, probably. And I mean, Drew Rosenhaus was with him on the fishing trip. We saw the social media post. So, I mean, I would assume he was a witness and
There's a
exactly
video
what
out of the whole day of the whole shark thing. You've seen it, right?
Yeah, the shark thing and they're fishing and all this. Tyreek Hill said he's not getting in the water.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it is a little concerning. So right now it's under the state attorney's office review. I know Miami-Dade police has been involved as well. I know now we've learned that the NFL is also doing its own investigation. So I don't want to speak on them. I wasn't there, but I mean, yeah, I hear what you're saying, that when you're not hearing this profession of innocence, then that probably leads you to believe one way in this. And then also, hey, Tyreek Hill, we love him. He's got a big mouth. So if he starts talking, you don't know what he's going to say is the other thing. So maybe also that's a good strategy to just stay silent.
The shame, David, is he was handling everything perfect here, bro. I mean, you couldn't have handled it more perfect. He was connecting with everybody.
His whole first year.
I mean, he's fantastic. He's been great. And then now this one slip up, unfortunately, now this brings up his past and all this shit. And so it's kind of like, now you got to start back on zero again. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I just
in the community doing that camp.
I just would have felt better about this just slightly if he would have come out and really professed his innocence and said, hey, listen, I can't talk about the case or whatever, but I didn't do this. And I'll be proven, but he can't say it because obviously something must have gone on. And the agent would have also, because they do that. When you're innocent, brother, when you're innocent, you'll stand on the highest mountain, you'll find the tallest building in the world, and you will scream your innocence. Everybody does it all the time. Just say you're innocent, because you truly feel that. And that's the only thing that I would have felt a little better. Now I'm concerned that this may end up. I think it's going to cost him a game, to be quite honest. I don't think it'll be a long suspension, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's a game. When? I don't know when this legal issue and all this stuff is going to be resolved, if he's going to be paid off or whatever. That's the part that I don't know.
Yeah, and that potential game suspension, that I didn't even think of that until I was talking to some friends just yesterday, actually, and they were asking me about it and said, oh, you think he'll be suspended? And I said, man, at first I didn't really think anything in the severity of it could warrant a suspension, but then it started hitting me. Yeah, I mean, maybe.
Track record, bro. That's the only reason.
Yeah, there's part of that too. And there's video.
If he had none, I don't think he gets any suspension. I guess he gets a fine or something. But because of the first one that they couldn't get him for from coming into the league, that kind of stuff, and then he had the other incident, I think they could send a message. And here's the other thing, David. They are so inconsistent in the NFL that we don't really know what the hell they're going to do, to be quite honest.
It's a total wild card.
They may not even suspend them, actually. They may not even suspend them.
Yeah, it's a total wild card. And the other thing is there is video of whatever did happen that is being reviewed that we haven't seen out in the public yet. So the same way football players say the film doesn't lie when you're analyzing tape, then the video of this incident won't lie.
Well, you got all that money. You haven't bought the tape yet? What's up, bro?
I got money. Where? What money?
All that money that Sun Sentinel's paying you, bro.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That 6-figure salary and that bonus that gets you to 7 figures. Come on. What's going on?
You got the wrong idea, my friend.
Bonus got all that cash coming out. Let's go. Get that video for us, man. Come on. Post it on Twitter.
It shouldn't lie on me. If I were able to obtain it, that should be a business expense that I could expense to the Sun Sentinel, regardless of my salary.
I am shocked that TMZ did not get to buy it. This guy that owns the marina must be the most old school dude out there. Seriously, because everybody's got a price to sell a stupid video, bro. Every video gets out. Like, this is the only one that hasn't gotten out. I'm wondering if the Heat are in charge. That's why the video hasn't gotten out. I don't know. It's just, if it's the Heat, I can understand why it never gets out, because, brother, you don't break the Pat Riley force field, but damn. I mean, this is impressive, bro.
I mean, I don't think Tyreek Hill pulled a Conor McGregor on this guy, on the marina employee, McGregor on Birdie. I don't think it was like that either.
Yeah. All right. Do any of the contracts get resolved before we start training camp?
I mean, I've really had my eye on Christian Wilkins. I would like to see the Dolphins get him in long term. I know he doesn't produce the sacks like a lot of the other defensive tackles that this offseason cycle have gotten their big contracts. But I mean, just how active he is and his ability to shed blocks. I mean, a big reason why the Dolphins were number 4 in run defense this past season is Wilkins and obviously the combination of him and Zach Sealer, who's the other guy that you would want to settle. But obviously with the salary cap conundrum that the Dolphins are going to be in for years to come, and then having to pay Tua eventually long term, then you're going to have to make some decisions on who is and who isn't coming back. So, I mean, but Christian Wilkins tops the list. Connor Williams, he went ahead and held out for mini camp, but I would think he's got to just come back. I mean, it was just the 1 year at center, and he was great, but he did have some snafus at times. And I know he kind of tried to exhibit some leverage by sitting out minicamp, and then the Dolphins have to go put Liam Eichenberg at center, and then that's a whole new thing where Eichenberg is working at a third position in a third season because you don't have him. So that was well played by him, I guess. I mean, we'll see. He has to now potentially pay this fine.
He did snap well, by the way.
Huh? Oh yeah, I didn't. Yeah, in minicamp there weren't any snapping issues, so there is that.
Yeah.
Then it could work the other way for Williams too. Then the Dolphins discover something that they have an elite center in Liam Eichenberg.
That would be the hilarious thing in the world, that Liam Eichenberg becomes your all-pro center. Was, hey, Connor, we're going to move you back to guard, bro. Your original position. There you go. Have some fun. That's it. We need a left guard, and Liam Eichenberg has no bad snaps. So, yeah, we're going to go this way. And
we know you did all this for us year one, changed positions admirably, did all that, but hey, we found a new one.
It's like the late, great Mad Dog used to say, there's someone with no shoes. There's a shoeless man outside your door waiting to take your job, And so, he was right. That, you're lazy, they'll find somebody else, or you're not doing it, they'll find somebody else to do the job. And that would be hilarious. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think Connor gets back. I think they give him like a little extra juice, give him a couple extra million, keep him, cool. And then next year, if he has another great year, then they extend them. I don't think they'll do it now. I think Wilkins and Sealer are the real priorities for extensions. I think Connor gets like a little extra money guaranteed to him. That way to make him feel a little bit better. Keep them going. Say, hey, look, just give us the year, and then next year we'll talk and we'll extend, because you can only do so many contracts. Yeah. So I would imagine that Wilkins has to be the priority, which, by the way, you'll be able to lower your cap number in that first year by doing his deal, and then that'll open up the door for you to get Sealer done, and then a little bonus for Williams too at the same time. But I'm thinking sometime during training camp this Wilkins thing gets resolved.
Yeah,
I think what I don't think people realize is how much he is appreciated in that building as a player, as a leader, as a person. I don't think people understand. You're just in love with the sacks. And let me tell you something. If Phillips breaks out like I think he will this year for 10 plus sacks, and if Bradley Chubb brings the lunch pail every week and he starts getting his share of sacks, Wilkins' numbers on his sack numbers will go up. I promise you that. Okay, so that'll look better. But to finish my point, the energy, the amount of tackles, the tackles for losses, the energy in practice that this guy brings to the table in effing mini camps. He is the most inspired player there. He's dancing. He's getting guys involved. And Wilkins has this thing that very few players in the league have. You can't stand his ass if you're facing him, but you want him on your team. And I don't think that the average fan really appreciates the levels of contribution that he makes in every aspect of the game, on, off the field, classroom. Very few players are impeccable like Christian Wilkins, and he does not fail in any of those areas. And I think that's why his value is so high to everybody, to the team. But maybe to the outsiders, they're just thinking about one stat that kind of really doesn't give it the balance that it deserves.
Absolutely. Yeah. He has the intangibles down, the that Gary Payton factor of trash talking your opponent, getting into their head, affecting their play, and his work ethic that you always hear, whether it's Mike McDaniel, Chris Greer. Whenever we ask Chris Greer what's going on with the Christian Wilkins contract, then where his mind ends up going is, boy, I just saw him the other day and he was in the building working out and this is times when it's not even any OTAs, any offseason workout program. He's just in there working. And he's even said, Christian Wilkins has, that his motivation doesn't change regardless of the contract situation. He is self-motivated. So he's going to produce. I don't see him as one of those guys that'll get the contract and then just say, well, I made my money, I'm out of here.
Right. No, there's no way. That's the beauty of Christian Wilkins. That's why I think fans need to maybe be a little bit more patient and understand what kind of a player you have here in Christian Wilkins. He is as multiverse as it gets for a player. I just think he's a positive in so many different areas that he's a must sign, and I have no problem giving him the $20 million a year. I think he will deserve it. I think his sack numbers will go up too as time goes up. Do you agree with me on that? That if Phillips and Chubb really become the attackers that they're supposed to be, that his numbers up the middle will also end up climbing up a little bit?
Yeah, the inside and outside pass rush work hand in hand, complement each other. So it could also work with just Wilkins's push and attention drawing could help Chubb and Phillips get those numbers. So even if we just see those numbers from Chubb and Phillips, it could be a byproduct of Wilkins doing his job on the inside, even though he doesn't get the sacks.
Then again, ex-healthy and Jalen Ramsey, holy shit, that should help out.
Everything working in tandem, yeah.
That should get everybody a few more sacks. All right, what do you got going on in the Sun Sentinel so folks can check you out, man?
Yeah, man, some downtime right now, and then we get into a countdown to camp series closer to the start, kind of within about 10 days before, a week and a half before. So right now, just keeping some eye on news if it happens, and if not, then I'm able to take some time to myself. So a fun time of year, July, checking in on other sports, seeing what's going on with Dame Lillard and the Marlins and Messi and all that.
You think the Cook thing is going to happen, right? Because I've been saying for a long time that they were never going to trade for him, never going to give him big money. But the one thing I also found out, I knew the Dolphins weren't going to give him big money, but the NFL isn't giving him big money. So the fact that he doesn't have any sexy offers on the table, I think it's a guaranteed practically that he's coming here, to be quite honest. You see it the same way, right?
Maybe not a guarantee, but I think that works well for the Dolphins that, hey, it's not just the Dolphins that aren't going to pay him big money. This is what's going on all across the NFL. They're not going to teams aren't going to spend a bunch of their cap space on a running back. They view the position as one that could easily just be where you bring in the next guy. And then, I mean, Mike McDaniel likes having the combination of Mostert, of Wilson, who have worked in his system before, are familiar with it, and then you bring in a rookie like A-Chain, very explosive and can be used as a versatile weapon. It's just a luxury signing to then now everyone else just bumps down a notch in how much they have to produce and how much they have to take on a workload, and you bring in one of the top backs, and if none of the other teams are going to be willing to match the number that Cook wants, then the Dolphins could get him at the hometown discount that they're looking for too. Why not just for Dalvin Cook, who wanted to play at UM when he was coming out of Miami Central, but then decided Florida State looks like a little better situation, was always motivated to come back here and play, like the way he ripped Canes fans' hearts out when in that 2014 game, was it, when UM tried to pull off that upset. Now he can make it his home, play his home games here. I think it's something that's on his mind.
Let's hope so. Follow him on Twitter at @DavidFurones_ and catch his exceptional work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. David, thank you, my brother. We'll catch up later on in the week.
Sounds good. You
got it. There you go. David Furones, our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report.
You've been listening to the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report with Sports Illustrated's Alan Poupart. For additions, home remodeling, and custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDconstruction.com is your custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
all right. We love Steve. He chimes in on Venmo. Remember, Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. You can send your questions, comments, insults, compliments. He actually sent me a compliment. He says, thanks for doing a show when your competition's taking a 5-day weekend. Yeah, I don't, thank you. I appreciate it. I don't really look at them as competition. I don't think QAM is any kind of competition to me at all. I think what we do here is completely different than the stuff that goes on there. Nothing against the guys that are there, but I'm sorry. I don't think there's any comparison whatsoever. You know, I think we provide a hell of a lot more insight on all the teams than all of them do in that channel combined, to be quite honest. I'm sorry. Just got to call it like I see it. But and more brutal honesty here that you'll get than you won't ever get in radio or television. That's for damn sure. So, but I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. And by the way, we were on yesterday. We were on Saturday. We've been on 7 days a week. Okay. So it's not, you know, we've kept up with the Damian Lillard situation because that's kind of what our job is. You know, it's going on. So we'll keep you updated with all of that. Going back to the Tyreek Hill mess. Maybe it doesn't even cost them a game this year because legally maybe it runs into next year. Who knows? Maybe they buy them out and buy their silence and just pay them off. And eventually the NFL will have their own say because that none of that matters. I don't know how this whole thing's going to get handled. I do know this. I'm a little disturbed that it really did happen because it looks like it really happened. The agent was on for the second time in 2 weeks now. Like he is on every Sunday night. And I get it that the people on Channel 7 have no control. They just pay him to be there or whatever. And so he could get his clients on. And so it's a scoop for them in that sense. Not that he really adds any real news to the whole thing. It's always all, you know, in a way where it's guided that it's positive stuff. But the negative stuff, they kind of stay away from it. And they don't press him. Because they can't. If they press him, then he leaves. You know what I mean? And then, you know, then their show suffers because that's kind of what it is. People tune into that show for that guy. That's it, just to see what he says. And so he's been on twice, and he easily could have said, hey, Tyreek will be cleared of this. He is innocent. You're not giving anything away here. And he has failed to say that both times. And that's disturbing. And Tyreek has a podcast. It had to be said. Well, why don't you say it you can't say it. So it had to be said. No, you can't say it because you're not probably. You got Twitter. You got Instagram. You got platforms that people will make it news right away. Nothing. And so that's sad. Because then that means that he actually did and he lost his cool at that moment. And so the incidents from the past and you throw this in. So then it becomes like, okay, so are you just playing a role the entire time? And then this is really who you are? Or what's the deal? Do you have anger issues? You know, because if you were doing something or your guys were doing something wrong, you were jumping on another boat and fishing from it and all that, and somebody comes and tells you you need to get off that boat, you don't get mad, dude, at that person. You did something wrong. You accept it. You apologize profusely for it because it is disrespectful what you did. What's even more disrespectful is that you would attack someone that's in the right because you're in the wrong. That's ignorance to its highest standard. And so, you know, you've done everything right for the first year since you got here. What's the deal, dude? Come on, man. You got a lot of talent. You seem to have a personality. You seem that you can be a good dude. Why can't you do that all the time? Now, again, this is not going to be something that's going to cost the Dolphins big, but it's going to cost them. I think it'll cost them a game. That's my guess right now. If I had to guess, because, you know, it's not necessarily that he beat him up, but if he did just hit him in the back of the neck, yeah. but you've had your opportunities and you've kind of failed to close the deal there and send a strong message to the fan base. So I don't know when it's going to happen, but something will eventually give. And the way they've handled it, it becomes pretty obvious what the issue is, unfortunately. All righty, we're at the bottom of the hour, and my man Marcel Louis-Jacques is ready to go on a 4th of July weekend.
All rise, football fans. As the Welton Rayon Miami Dolphins report with Marcel Louis-Jacques is in session. Welton Rayon has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider Marcel Louis-Jacques.
Finally, they said something good about me. Anthony Campbell says, Big O, please come with me Dolphin hat shopping. You have an amazing collection. Happy early 4th. Traditions you do. I see Jaws every 4th. Lots of Edge energy drink for a 4th and Nature B. There we go. I like it. I like it. I like it. You like my new Dolphins hat?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I am talking to you. You are the one that's on for an interview.
I know you were reading comments out. I thought you were asking the commenters if they like.
Oh, I read the comment and then I'm looking at you saying, "You like my hat? What's the deal?
Good hat.
I like my hat. Huh?
Good hat.
It is, right? It
Yeah,
is
I don't have a whole lot of hats. This is my proud subscriber of GQ magazine hat. I subscribed to be a good friend to somebody who worked there, and we're no longer friends. So, but the hat still works. So,
Okay. It was a freebie hat.
not really.
Wow.
So
Damn. Okay. All
they
right.
included, it was included in the subscription,
Oh,
but it
wow.
wasn't. So it's not technically free. You know, that's how they get you. They try to say you get a free hat. It's not there. It's not free. I had to pay for it. I just, it's cheaper than usual.
Yeah. Yep.
It's cheaper than
All right.
usual.
So I was just talking about this before you came on. Drew Rosenhaus was on yesterday again. And so I tripped out because the tease going into the break for Drew was, insider Drew Rosenhaus will join us to talk about Dalvin Cook. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's not his client. Isn't he going to talk about Tyreek Hill? And sure enough, they brought it back, complete fluff segment like it normally is. And they did not even touch the Tyreek Hill situation. I know there's an investigation going on, and I think we talked a little bit about this last week. Maybe we did or not on one of your segments, but I've said that he could at least profess his innocence. At least. That's all. Don't trump it. Don't go sticking your entire leg in your mouth and start saying all kinds of other stupid shit to incriminate yourself. Just say, hey, when everything like Michael Irvin has done, like Michael Irvin did 20 years ago when he told everybody, hey, I never did it. And he was right. And then he went after the media and said, use the same energy you used to convict me, use the same energy to clear my name. And he went after the media, and he's done the same thing in this Marriott case. He's professed his innocence from the get-go. So is his agent. They don't give any more facts because there's an investigation. That's fine. The fact that Drew has been on 2 weeks in a row, has not professed his innocence, the fact that Tyreek Hill has a popular podcast and social media platforms, and nowhere has he professed his innocence, is that something to be concerned about?
No, not particularly. I think he's just kind of avoiding breathing more air into this thing than necessary. Like, I think he understands that he's Tyreek Hill.
Well, what about his agent? What about his agent on Channel 7? Why can't he do it as a mouthpiece?
I think Drew is also good at this. I think Drew is good at this, at the publicity game. That's why he's on Channel 7 to begin with. So I think, like, them knowing, because of Tyreek Hill being Tyreek Hill, he is possibly Drew Rosenhaus's biggest client. I think breathing any sort of air into it is just going to keep it from going away. Not that it's going to go away, but in the court of public opinion, people will stop talking about it. People will forget about it if you give them an opportunity to. Yes, they would. That is anything. It's whether it's Twitter, whether it's, getting in trouble with the law in the off season, People will forget anything if you give them the opportunity to. There is always something else going to capture your attention in this country. Always going to be something else.
Not in the Dolphin Nation.
You'd be surprised.
This is a running subject now in the Dolphin Nation.
Are we talking about Xavier Howard?
Because why would
are we talking about exactly? Are we talking about Xavier Howard's case from October?
No, but his case will not affect anything on the field. It has nothing to do with the field at all. At all. It's not going to do anything. That's a domestic issue, money issue that he's got to resolve. That has not that's not a
speaking about it, it doesn't do anything. It's not going to, you want to maybe ease people's minds or try to ease people's minds.
I think every Dolphin's concerned about this because what we don't know is, dude, what if this costs him a game? And when's it going to cost him a game? Early in the season, middle of the season, end of the season, next year? We don't even know because the legal part has to take over, and that could drag on. You never know.
Until that starts, like you're kind of for Dolphins fans, you're worrying about things that you have no control over, and you're worrying about things that might not even exist yet. You're worrying about a suspension that may never come. And I think if there were games being played, if it wasn't this time of year, then it wouldn't be like people wouldn't be like this uptight over it. Like you're worry about it when the video comes out. Worry about it when statements.
You realize that the fan base you're covering is guilty of all those things you just talked about, right?
Well, that's what I'm here for. I'm here trying to help y'all. I'm trying to tell you, you're worrying about things that you might not need to worry about. There's a great saying out there about worry and anxiety that like hope for the best, like really hope for the best, because if you worry that something's going to happen and then it actually happens, you have now put yourself through this trauma 2 times. Just live your life, stay where you're planted here, live it one day at a time. Right now, Tyreek is not suspended. Live your life as if he's not going to be suspended. That way, if he does actually get a suspension, if he does get some sort of punishment, you're not putting yourself through that mental, those mental gymnastics multiple times. You only have to live through it one time. And I can't imagine a world in which he is suspended for anything more than a game or fined heavily. Like, I don't feel like this is going to be some sort of 6-game hammer coming down on him. Like it was a stupid incident, but it's not like he's waving guns around. It's not like he was drunk driving. It's not like anybody had landed in the hospital or was killed or maimed by this. Like, it was dumb. Don't put your hands on people. I'm not advocating for that, but I feel like in the grand scheme of players being suspended for off-season behavior, he didn't kick a woman on camera. He didn't punch somebody, knock his wife out and drag her out of an elevator. Like, it's not. I feel like there's levels to it. He's not going to be cut for this. This isn't that level, that type type of incident. So like, I don't feel like there's going to be anything massive lobbied against him. But either way,
if he has to get suspended for one game, I just hope they pick the shittiest game in the world. The easiest game in the world for the Dolphins to win. That's all. That's all I want. That's all I want. But I am
suspended for Panthers in week 6 or something like that.
What's that? Right,
Panthers in week 6.
Yes. That would be absolutely perfect if there's a suspension. I'm shocked. Again, I'm shocked that the video hasn't come out. I really am absolutely shocked. Are you more convinced as the days go on that Dalvin Cook becomes a Dolphin? Because it doesn't look like he has any interest anywhere.
I mean, that's kind of like the running theme, right? Is that the longer it takes, the more likely it seems. Training camp opens, I want to say July 26th.
Yeah.
So, that week of July 20th, I think that's the magic. That's the golden hour. That's the golden week right there, where it's enough time to come in, get settled, so that you're not like in a whirlwind, just like rushing into a facility, get a little hype, let it die down a tad or build up a tad. I think that's kind of the magic week that you're looking at for a decision here. It's not really necessary for him to get, unless he just wants the playbook and wants to start reading it. But it sounds like he kind of knows what scheme he'd be expecting. I wouldn't expect it now. I wouldn't expect it next week. But that, like I said, that July 20th to the 26th, 27th window, I think if something's going to happen, that's roughly when I would expect it. I don't think I think he's comfortable waiting until training camp. I don't think that he will want to. I don't think he'll want to join midway through a camp, though. Because then all of a sudden it starts to look worse and worse for him. You're giving people opportunities to make an impression on this team. The longer he waits to get into training camp, the more opportunities a running back has to show their staff, you don't need a Dalvin Cook. I can do this. I can get this job done. Especially a guy like Achane, here.
That's a good point. Nobody's brought that up that, obviously Dalvin Cook is the best back that you would have on the team if he signs. There's no doubt about that. But what happens if you do drag on and you're still holding out hope for a $10 million deal from somewhere, or somebody get injured, and then all of a sudden Achane takes the field and he's magic. And you're like, well, wait a minute, hold on. Do we really go get Dalvin Cook? Because this young kid's looking great and dynamic. And, we got him really cheap. And then we have the other two backs. And by the way, they like Salvon Ahmed. Just to tell people out there, I know you know that, Marcel, but I don't think the fan base understands that they like Salvon Ahmed too. So you're right. That's a great point. What if Achane is one of those dynamic young studs that you're like, wow, holy shit, this guy's special. What are you going to do? Put handcuffs on him by bringing in, Cook and less carries? No, you might say, you know what? We love you, Dalvin, but wow, we've got something special here that we didn't realize. This guy's even better than what we thought. That's a very good point.
Like I said, I'm not saying that is what is going to happen. I'm saying that it opens the door for that. Just got to be clear. Just, how some people get, they hear something and then they hear what they want to hear out of what you're saying. I
had it this morning and over the weekend because I was talking about the Heat's first round pick, Jaime Jaquez, and I said he reminds me of Wade. And then I told everybody, slow down, has nothing to do with talent. He's a 4-year starter at UCLA like Wade was. And when I see in his game, I see maturity. I see a guy that's already a man. His body's developed and all that I think that he'll make the transition to the NBA a little faster for him. That's all. Not that he's going to be Dwayne Wade, not that he's going to be one of the greatest guards of all time, a Hall of Famer. Maturity. So exactly. I know how it is. People do jump.
You gotta make it clear. But the door is in theory open. Because it would work the other way too. Like the longer he waits, they can also see, okay,
we got nothing.
Our running backs aren't what we thought it would. But considering that 4 out of 5, so was it 80% of that running back room was in place last year? Like I think they know what they've got with them. It would take Jeff Wilson would have to come back, at 240 pounds and out of shape, and Raheem Mostert would have to forget how to run fast. Like it would take just dramatic events that aren't plausible in order for them to be surprised by what they already have. Achane is the only X factor in that room, is the only non-unknown in that room where he could go one way or another. He could really, really impress during training camp, or they could see he's maybe not ready. But running back, it's an easy transition from college to the NFL, relatively easy transition from college to the NFL. All that he really, I think, needs to grasp is that the wide zone concepts and his route running and his route tree. But he looked like he great running routes.
That kid was used on every phase of every level of that position. He's a smart kid. You can tell because you watch him in that offense, and he was a running back, a receiver, whatever. He did everything and anything in that offense. So clearly this Achane kid has got a brain. You know what I'm saying? You can tell. He's not just, here's the rock and you just run, kid. No, this kid's smart. You can tell that he understands the game. So yeah, that's a very good point you bring up, because that could be a surprise thing that could shock the hell out of all of us, which would be nice, by the way, but you never know. All right, what do you got going on ESPN so folks can check you out?
Actually, I've been on the Messi beat a little more than the Dolphins beat for the past couple of weeks. I was at the game on Saturday, drove down from Orlando. My car needs a break. Drove all the way down from Orlando, rested at home in downtown Miami for about an hour, and then drove back up to Fort Lauderdale for Inter Miami versus Austin FC. just to get the feel for the stadium, get the feel for the anticipation before the GOAT gets here. So many Messi kits in the audience or in the stands already. Obviously custom made. He's not signed, so the team can't sell them yet. But so many Messi kits. The atmosphere, from what I hear, but just asking reporters, asking the PR staff, they've drawn pretty good crowds despite being 15th, I think, on the table this year. They average, their capacity is 19,000, and they're averaging between 12 and 15 per game, which again, for an MLS team that plays deep in Broward County
and sucks,
and that isn't good. That is impressive. That is impressive. And then La Familia, the north end stands, incredible energy.
Those people, they're maniacs over there. Yeah,
I hear the seats are actually bolted up, so even if they wanted to sit down, they can't. It's standing room only up there.
Right.
And then they're the drum line, the pink smoke, the banners. So yeah, I spent most of that game, just trying to paint a picture, describe the scene. And then in between words, I was watching Robbie Robinson make incredible runs and refusing to finish. Drove us insane in that box. I can't say
and he got injured again. He's soft.
Yeah, I thought you were saying he sucks. I was about to say I can't say he sucks because he's making the runs.
No. Robbie Robinson was given the talents to play this game, but he is soft. And that I've learned that he is mentally and physically a soft player.
It's concerning because he's 24 as well. Soccer is one of those. I forget who said it. I think it was Arsene Wagner who said, or Alex Ferguson who said, you got the technical ability when you're 12. If you don't have it when you're 12, you're not gonna have it. Period. So if you're not finishing when you're 24, I have no faith that you're going to be finishing. You're going to be clinical when you're 30, when you're 28, 29, 30. So it's a little concerning, but I loved the runs that he was making. I loved his dancing in the box. I loved his willingness to even make the extra pass in the box. But man, he wouldn't put shots on net. He wouldn't put shots on goal. And that was frustrating to watch. If I was an Inter Miami fan, it would be frustrating to watch.
Oh, I gave up on Robbie Robinson 2 years ago already. I'm done with Robbie.
When Messi comes in, maybe Messi teaches him a little something that he hasn't been taught. Maybe he gets that inspiration he hasn't gotten before.
He's going to give him a pair of nuts. Can you buy those? Can you buy those?
There's
Kmart.
There's the confidence boost you get from a coach starting you and playing you. And then there's a confidence boost of the greatest football player of all time, soccer player of all time, telling you, shoot the ball. I believe in you. If I pass you the ball, I trust you to make it. I trust that you can do it.
Maybe what will happen is when Messi retires in a couple of years, he'll say, "Here, kid, here's my balls. You can borrow them for a while," and then that'll help him out. That might help him out a little bit there. Yeah, but I don't know. Unless Messi brings an extra pair of cojones, I'm not sure you're lifting Robbie Robinson out of that funk that he's permanently in. That one's just ugly. But anyway, the Messi beat's going to be fun for you. Follow him on Twitter at Marcel_LJ. Catch his work on ESPN covering Messi and your Miami Dolphins. Marcel, thank you, sir. We will catch up later in the week.
Absolutely. See y'all Thursday.
You got it, baby. Be good. There you go. The great Marcel Louis Jacques.
This has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with Marcel Louis-Jacques. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
Ride. They can help bankruptcy. They can help homeowner property damage. That's what we had. They crushed Progressive. Welton Rayom is just absolute pure ass kickers. They're in Hollywood. You can call them anywhere you are in the state. You probably don't even have to come in. You can probably do everything through phone. Maybe you only go in to get your check. Condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. WRFLAlaw.com. Ask for Jeff or Dan. Jeff is amazing and Dan is fantastic. Two cool people, man. Jeff and I, we go to concerts all the time. We talk music all the time. Daniel is a stunt pilot too. On top of all of that, really, it's a hell of a pair, and they do great work. And they bring insurance companies to their knees. I told you about this a couple months ago, where they had a case where they had like 186 people in the case. They were representing 186 people against the corporation, and they won. And they won big, and they crushed them. Brother, they got the guy that was hassling us in Progressive. They got him fired by how many times that he was wrong in doing certain things. And these guys know the laws. That's why I tell you that if you have an accident and the first thing you do is call your insurance company and they send their adjusters, that's the worst mistake you made. You first call Welton Rayom. They have their own adjusters. And then they send their adjusters, they get it, and then they contact the insurance company. And that's it, bro. They have all the ammunition and they're ready to go. And it's like, think about it this way. When you don't call Welton Rayom first and you call the insurance company, you're calling the insurance company and you're standing here, right? And you're standing out in the open field, and then there's a entire cavalry that you're about to take on, and you're by yourself because it's the insurance company with their adjusters and all their lawyers. And you're by your lonesome. How are you going to win that fight? You're not. So you're going to need, to like get your own army. That's what you do with Welton Rayom. So that way, when you get to the battlefield and you stand there with your horse and your sword and your shield, when there's Welton Rayom behind you, and now you're ready to go up against that big ass corporation and their lawyers. But if you show up by yourself, they know all the laws, they know all the loopholes, they burn your ass. So call Welton Rayom. Don't allow the insurance companies. They love collecting your premium. They hate paying their responsibilities. 954-966-4646. I promise you, Welton Rayom will get it done. 954-966-4646. Let's see, what else do we have going on? Inter Miami is such a mess. Messi is really going to have a lot of work to do. Messi doesn't get them into the playoffs. Sorry, just not going to happen. I would love to see it happen. That'd be a lot of fun, but they'll have to reset in the offseason and get it going. He's joining too late, and the team is it's bad. It's a horrible team. Unfortunately, the one thing that the ownership and the front office have proven, they can't build a good team yet on their own. They don't know how to do it yet. And maybe they're in the early stages. Maybe there's a couple of young guys that can develop over the next couple of years, and maybe into years 5, 6, 7. Maybe we start to see a team that can develop others. Buying Messi and Busquets, that doesn't take much skill. That takes some influence, some money, some connections. But the real skill is drafting players, developing them, and building a core. Things that like the Miami Heat do forever, that's the kind of shit that they've got to do, and they don't do that, unfortunately. And Robbie Robinson is the perfect example of how you started your career as a franchise, when the right guy to pick went to Orlando, and they made 2 picks before Orlando made their pick at number 5, and they ended up with a better player. Things like that from the get-go, that's the kind of shit that buries your franchise. You had 2 picks before Orlando. Both your picks suck compared to what Orlando picked. Then sold the kid for a bunch of money. So it's ridiculous. It just is. Barry Jackson is saying Dame wants Miami and reiterated to Portland brass that he wants Miami. So look like Portland has their hand. Yeah, I said this. That's why I laughed at all these people right away. Oh, well, they have all the leverage. No, they don't. They don't have any leverage. Lillard has all the leverage here. It's the dumbest thing in the world to say that they don't have any leverage. That's ridiculous. Lillard has all the leverage here. You can't just trade him wherever you want. You don't trade $216 million wherever the hell you want. And nobody takes in $216 million when the guy doesn't want to be with you. It's the dumbest thing in the world. Plus, an extra $60 million in tax that you're going to pay over the lifetime of that contract for having that contract on your books. So doesn't really matter to me. I was also at the Inter Miami game. Did you also see that kid running onto the field right after the final minute? Oh, I did not. I did not, unfortunately. I was at a concert, so I did not watch the game itself. I actually did turn it on my phone at the concert to watch the last 2 minutes or 3 minutes of the 9 minutes of extra time I think it had. But when I saw that it was ending there, I turned it off. So I don't even know if the MLS app showed it or there's Twitter feed or something. I don't know what you're talking about. Did somebody get tackled or something? I don't know what happened. I don't know. That one you got me on that one. Let's see, what else do we have going on? Braves sweep the Marlins 6-3 on Sunday. Sandy, 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 6 Ks. That wild pitch, the catcher's got to do a little better job of trying to trap it. I know it wasn't easy, but I just thought that just that reach over to try to backhand it. I'd like to see you try to move and as fast as you can to try to block it if you can or something. But then Sandy gives up the 2-run homer after that. So they lose 6-3. Saturday, they got killed 7-0. Yuri Perez, the youngster, didn't even last an inning. Went a third of an inning, 7 hits, 6 earned runs, no Ks. The ERA ballooned to 2.47. And then Friday, they got killed 16-4. Hoeing allowed 7 earned runs in 3 2/3. And Archie Bradley allowed 7 earned runs in 2 1/3. I mean, they got killed, dude. Absolutely killed. And like I told you, they have built their record on shitty teams. The only good team they played in that stretch was San Diego, and they lost 2 of 3. And now they went and played the best team in their division and lost all 3. So right now, the Marlins have proven that they're better than the shitty teams, but they're not where the playoff teams are. They're kind of in the middle, which is good for them, by the way. That's progress for them. But we'll see. Now, the good thing is they're going to play another shitty team in the Cards today. The Cards are 35-48. So they're 13 games under 500. Okay? Now, they did win 2 of 3 against the Yankees over the weekend. They're 8-5 in their last 13 games. So I don't know if they're turning some kind of a corner right now. Okay? But Miles Mikolas is on the mound for the Cards, and then Braxton Garrett for the Marlins, who's 4-2 and a 3.53 ERA. He's pitched well lately, by the way. Got to give him a little love there. He deserves it. And Jorge Soler has made the All-Star game. How about that, man? Good for him. Good for him. Okay, so we got all of that going on with the baseball. We are on the Lillard watch, and as I told you, I think it's only the inevitable. I don't think the leverage at all is with Joe Cronin and the Portland Trailblazers. I believe that Damian Lillard has all the leverage here when it's all said and done. Tyler Hero has eliminated his Miami guard from his social media. So clearly his agent must have told him, yeah, you're on your way out. You're the guy they're dangling for the extra picks with the Nets or whoever else is going to do it. Now you've got that going on, which, again, I don't mind if you trade Hero. The last 2 years has proven you can get deep without Hero. He was out right before the Eastern Conference, and you got, one shot away from the finals without him. And then this year he was out for the entire playoff run pretty much, right? What did he play, like a game and a half or something in the playoffs, right? And then he got injured, and you made your run all the way to the finals. He's not the end-all, be-all when it's all said and done, no matter what Riley tells you. So I would trade him with no problem. And if he took off that Heat guard off of his social media, something's going to give. I'm looking forward to Damian Lillard coming here. We'll see what happens. It's going to be a lot of fun. And by the way, the Lillard move is also, this is the move that closes Riley's career out, probably. If you can win that title, Riley would probably walk out the door. And this is kind of the moment he needs. You know what I mean? If anything, you know, I know some people think that Riley might do it longer, but I kind of think that what's gone on the last few years, and even before that with the scrubs and all that kind of stuff that Coach Spo, I think he is looking at it going, yeah, I need to get one and get the hell out because I don't know if I can get another one after that and how long it'll take. And look at all the things that have happened for us to get to this one title again. So this Lillard move for Riley's, I mean, his legacy is already signed, sealed, and delivered. Riley's one of the greatest basketball minds and coaches of all time. That's not even up for debate. That's not a discussion. That's already etched in stone. So whether he wins another title or not, it's not going to make it's like the Tom Brady thing. That's why I thought it was stupid that it tells me that he really didn't love Giselle as much as he says he did and love being a family man and all that. Because when you basically tell your wife, yeah, we're going to go to Tampa for 2 years. I'm going to try to win a title. And then you extend it. And she's like, no, enough is enough. You said you were only going to do 2 years. I'm out of here. It's like this for Brady. Why did you need the 8th title, bro? Why? You don't. That has nothing to do with your legacy. Whether he has 7 or 8, whether he wins 1 or 2 in Tampa, it doesn't matter anymore. His legacy is set. There's nothing more to accomplish. Move on already, dude. Instead, he loses his family. And to me, in the end, that's why he screwed it up with Moynihan was the other girl that he had a baby with and dumped her ass. Clearly, this guy wants to be a party guy, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what you want to do. Go for it, bro. But, that is a wife and your kids, and so you didn't make a commitment, So it's the same thing here. Riley, different kind of scenario, but Riley doesn't really need this extra title for his legacy at all. What he did with the Lakers, the Knicks, and the Heat, it's already set in stone. He doesn't need to do anything more. But I think the lesson from the last almost 10 years from the Big Three era, I think it's a lesson learned. And I think that if you can acquire Lillard and somehow or another you find a way to win a title with Lillard, I think this is the moment where he closes it out. And, it's the right thing for him. As much as I'm going to hate seeing him go, I never want to see him leave, but the man has to have some kind of a life too and enjoy his wife and everything else. So, this could be the move that with a happy ending, with and not the kind of happy ending that the Patriots owner likes, but with the proper happy ending, it could be the last days of Riley. So you never know. You never know. Let's see. Don't care what the national talking head says, Lanny, or wannabe woke ESPN has to say. They've been hating on us since Riley got here in 95, and the Shaq trade, especially after the Big Three, ain't nothing new. John Rouse is in the house. He says, remember when Brady threw away his phone? LOL. He was out of them. He was out of them at marriage a long time ago. Just never divorced until now. Probably. I hate to say it, but the media always hates the Heat and don't want us to get good players. Enjoy his wife. The man has been married for 100 years. Can't possibly be that much fun anymore. Oh, wow. That's not right. I've been married longer than Brady, bro. And I love my wife, and I got no problem. I have a great time. So, I guess it all depends on who you married, brother. You know what I mean? So if you didn't marry somebody that can still make you happy, I feel sorry for you, my man. But, I don't speak for the rest of us because I've been married. It'll be 30 years, March 18th, my man. 30 years. Tom Brady wishes he could even come close to my streak. Wishes he can come close. Okay? So, yeah. Nah. I would look at it my way. So I enjoy with my wife. Had a great time on Saturday. We went to the Cure, had a blast. We had a great time yesterday hanging out with our dogs and having a good meal. And tonight we're gonna go to the Struts. So my wife is my best friend. So I feel bad for you, XJ. You know what I mean? Maybe you're not married. Maybe you're unhappily married. Maybe you made the wrong choice. You know, but I think some of us can still be happy with our partners years and decades later. Oh, by the way, it's not just 30 years. November 5th will be 37 years because we were together 6.5 years before we got married. So 37 years coming up in November 5th. All right, XJ. So I feel sorry for you, my man. You know what I mean? I feel sorry for Tom Brady, who's got a lovely wife that stood by him, you know, during all of this and was patient for him to kind of make his point in Tampa, and some beautiful kids. And and as a child from a divorced parent, okay, my parents got separated when they were like 8. Okay. And they went through an ugly divorce, and they used me as a tool to get back at each other, restraining orders, all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? So as a guy that knows what divorce is and how ugly it is and how it's terrible when the kid is in the middle, I got a taste of that, you know? So you and I will disagree heavily on that one. Okay? Been with my wife a long time, and I have no problem staying with her forever. None whatsoever. I'll be very happy with her. Okay? So I feel bad for you, my man, actually. Besides AB, is there anyone worse at marketing their product than baseball? Most people don't know who Ohtani, and everyone should. Home run leader, 6th in batting average, 5th in hits, and he's a pitcher. Yeah, but baseball's dead. So that's the problem, that the rest, young America doesn't really follow baseball, and it's just kind of rough, man. It sucks. It sucks. But, it's also the Angels' fault too, Doug, right? Because everybody would know more about Ohtani if he was a Yankee. Everybody would know more about Ohtani if he was a Dodger. Everybody would know more about Ohtani if he was a Cub, or if he was a Red Sox, or if he was an Astro, because these teams win and they're competent. Nobody cares about the Angels, bro. Reggie Jackson and Nolan Ryan can go to the Angels to die. And that's Reggie Jackson and Nolan Ryan. You know what I mean? It's the Angels have always been that mediocre organization, that second-rate citizen. You know, they had the Mike Scioscia era where they had that one championship, and what was it, the Rally Monkey and all that? No, that was Arizona, right? That wasn't these guys, right? Was that Arizona, the Rally Monkey? Or was it? No, it was the Angels, right? They had that one year, but outside of that, they just don't do anything. They don't do enough. They kind of hurt themselves that they don't put themselves front and center. He who loves his wife himself, for no one ever hated his own flesh, but nourishes and cherishes it. Thank you, sir. John Padilla says, I've been in a 10-year relationship with a born Patriots fan. I'm 45, been married 25 in September. We're inseparable, and the passion is stronger than ever. Exactly, dude. That's how me and my wife think. Together is together, bro. Always. Pat in Nashville says, married 28 years next week, 28 long years. Danny says, I'm 3.5 years in, brother. There you go. Congratulations. Keep going. Keep going. Thank you, Samuel. Appreciate you. When are we going to give Bam his props for recruiting Dame? When Riley finishes off the job. That's what we need. Baseball is a dead sport, although the rules changed this year. Welcome. They are. I agree, XJ. I agree on that. I do like the rule change. I mean, I don't mind. I'm a baseball guy, but I understand most people don't care about baseball. It's just kind of like that. Young people don't care. Older people are kind of losing their interest in it. It's a real shame because it's a beautiful game. It really is. People don't realize how that messes with us, Big O. Also went through a bad divorce. We keep it moving. Yeah, we got no choice. I mean, you know, I'm just not one of those guys that points, no, oh, woe is me and this and that and linger on all the bad shit and whatever. And if something happens to me and, you know, lose my job or whatever, I don't flinch. I move. I get the next job and move forward and try to build something better, and that's it. You know, what are you gonna do, man? Life is gonna kick you in the ass when you're a kid, when you're a teenager, when you're a young adult, when you're a mature adult, when you're an old man or old woman. Get ready. Life is gonna put its foot in your ass. And crying and whining and pointing fingers and, oh, woe is me. That shit ain't gonna help, man. Find a way to overcome. That's what I always say. Something happens, find a way to overcome. How? What? I don't give a shit. Find a way. And that's the other reason why I think marriage doesn't work as much nowadays, because people don't work at it. They don't stay through the thick and the thin. And the second things get tough, we have a society that likes to then cry wolf right away. Help me. Everything is a tip now. You notice that? Everything. It's like, yo, the hell is this, bro? You got to earn your goddamn money. You got a salary. Earn your salary. Everything can't be tipped. John Padilla says, haha, she's with me listening to the show, laughing right now. Go Dolphins. There you go. GP Traps is married 40 years, Big O, to two different women. Josh Ritter says, just had my 7th anniversary yesterday. My wife puts up with my insane Dolphins fandom, which makes her the most patient person on the planet. Yeah, that's my wife too. She puts up with my love for sports and music. Yep. Now she does go to some concerts with me. You know, the more harder ones she doesn't. Although she'll go to Priest with me or Iron Maiden. She likes that. She likes the Scorpions too. But she won't like it. Like, she's not going to go to Metallica with me or something like that. Oh, if we get Dame, who are you more excited for this season? Heat or Fins? Fins. We need the Super Bowl, bro. I'm excited as hell for the Heat. I'm excited for Jimmy because he's busted his ass for 4 years. And if he gets Dame, he gets a real shot at a title. I'm excited for him. I'm excited for the Heat. But, brother, there's nothing like a Dolphins championship. Nothing like a Dolphins championship. I need a Dolphins championship before I check out. I'm not greedy. I don't need 2, 3. I would love 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 of them. God bless you. Let's go. Let's rock. But I just need one right now. You know? So I'm excited for both. I hope they both win it, but man, do I want the Dolphins to win it big, bro. Big. Oh, marriage is work. Minimum wage, tons of overtime, and a boss that yells at you all the time. Kidding. Nico says CNBC did a 12-minute video on how tipping everyone has gotten completely out of control. ESP since the pandemic. Everybody, no matter the job, seems to always have their hand out, and people are pushing back. Yep. I agree. No-fault divorces and leftist woke people has made marriage harder than before. Well, I don't know what it is, bro, but I just don't think people are willing to work at it. That's just the thing. And sometimes I think you also don't take the time to really get to know the person you're about to marry. Sometimes people rush into it too. You got to really know the person you're going to marry, man. Horn Dog says 15 years, 2 wives, 1 child, giving marriage one more shot. 8/24/24. Third time is the charm. There we go. Good for you, Horn Dog. I hope the third time is the charm. Big O, I forgot to mention I've lost 29 pounds since I started my diet April 1st. Lost 2 inches off that waist. That is awesome. Good for you, dude. That is fantastic. Chad says having a 3-year-old and an 11-month is like 2 bad college roommates you had. They are loud, stay up all night, don't clean up after themselves, and don't pay rent. Yep. It's going to be like that for a while, too. Until you can get them to a point where they can actually start doing things. But, yeah, that'll be like that for a while, bro. Unfortunately. All right, what else do we have going on in the world of sports that I wanted to talk about? You see Derrick Rose signs with the Memphis Grizzlies? Boy, I don't know if you guys saw it, but this is what they posted now. So now Derrick Rose is with the Memphis Grizzlies. Speaking of music, Guns N' Roses are together now. That's the combination, baby. Yeah. Now that's creative. I like that. Guns N' Roses. That is so fantastic. I'm sure he's hating it, John Morant, or maybe not, apparently, since he loves his guns. But, damn, that's funny. That is some funny shit. I got to say, I love that. Oh, man, that is so good. Guns N' Roses. I thought that was fantastic. I saw this also as I'm perusing and preparing for the show. So we caught Yao Ming walking through the airport. And I want you to check this. See the size of that dude, bro? He's gained some weight like the rest of us as we get older. You know, it's like you have that rubber band when you're young and it's tight on that waist and you eat everything in sight. And as you're eating everything, that waist doesn't expand. I know not everybody has that luxury, but I had that luxury till I was like 20, 21. And then that rubber band broke and like all the food stuck to me like luggage. Look at this guy, bro. Look at everybody around him. But now he's not the skinny, tall guy. Now he's like a giant offensive lineman now at this point. That is one big mother right there. Holy crap, dude. That is one big dude. Yao Ming. How about that? Now, you know it's summertime and everybody is looking for something refreshing. Honey and lime, not really refreshing. It's more soothing for this man's throat here, who's been working 7 days a week. For you all out there, I said this show wasn't going to be long. We're already at 2 hours and 20 minutes. I was not going to do a 3-hour show. I promised myself on a Monday where there's really not a lot to do, I was not going to do 3 hours. And somehow or another, I'm working on it. Jesus, it's official. I'm Cuban. I can talk a lot of shit. Anyway, so it's summertime. And Sean, are you looking for something refreshing in summer? Would you like something refreshing to quench that thirst? What would you say to that, Sean? Would you say a yay or a nay to that? A yay, right?
Yay.
Of course. Okay. So what if I tell you you should get some coleslaw pops? What do you think about that? Does that sound like a delectable meal right there? I saw that this morning and I said, what are you talking about? How disgusting is this? I mean, I can't eat coleslaw as it is. I'm not really much of a coleslaw guy. But a coleslaw pop? Where is that refreshing? That is disgusting, dude. Can you imagine somebody walks up to you, they're eating that, and you think, oh, it's orange, and what do you got? Some purple in there? You got some grapes, some orange, a little lime. No, this is coleslaw. This is a coleslaw pop. Like, are you kidding me? Sean, are you having some of this tomorrow after you eat a burger there on 4th of July, buddy? You doing that?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, you would.
I love coleslaw. I love coleslaw.
You would eat this coleslaw pops?
Why not? Why not?
Oh God, you're just playing with me, are you? You're joking, right? You're not serious about that, right?
That's them down in a heartbeat.
Oh God, Jesus Christ, coleslaw pops. Damn, that's not good.
As Dougie says in the comments, if Zion would eat them, that could help him.
Yeah, well, yeah, no, Zion definitely needs it. Yes. I'm with you with that. There's no doubt. Jayhawk says, I'm 6 years in, Big O, just went through and beat cancer. My wife not only stayed, but backed me up with bliss, chores, stress, taking kids to school, etc. She's an angel. They all are, bro. Those wives that hang in there with us and they're truly committed and they support us in our thing. That's the stuff you got to appreciate, man. That's what makes a great partner. That's what makes, a great wife. And you have to do the same too for her. And when the shit hits the fan, you both got to suck it up and find a way to overcome, dude. And I'm glad you got a good one there, Jay, man. Hang in there. Mike says, of all the things I miss, it's my metabolism, and I miss that the most. Amen, isn't it? My metabolism slowed down like it's a train with barely any coal and chugging along the tracks at like a mile an hour. It used to be, a bullet train, my metabolism, but now, holy shit, it is terrible. What else do we have here? ESPN, a joke, wild horse on the front page talking about Portland won't accept a package from Miami. Not enough. Enough of you, dude. Do back and report on LeBron since you're up his ass. Hey, coleslaw pops. Now we have cracked the code to get Zion to eat some vegetables. I like it. The South shall rise again. Never mind. Sean is taking the other side to get clicks. Exactly, NorCal. Although he does have pickle juice, and he ordered a second one in front of me. So I there's something about that there might be some truth to Sean's craziness. Big O, will you be on tomorrow? Yes, I will. I will be on tomorrow because I will do a short show tomorrow. I promise I'm going to do a short show tomorrow. I'm by myself tomorrow, I think, right? Is it tomorrow or Wednesday? When am I by myself? But I'm by myself on one of those days.
Tomorrow.
So tomorrow, July 4th, I'm by myself. So, yeah, I was going to do a short show today. I don't even know why I'm still on right now. I'd rather watch Joe Philbin as a motivator of men than eat coleslaw pops. I know. I got you. I got divorced because my ex didn't approve I watched too much sports. She said, now I have a girlfriend that loves me and my kids. How am I? Okay. I think you're better off, Herman. You know, it's I have a friend of mine. Orlando, are you still adding to your Cardano? Yes, I am. I add to Cardano, Polkadot, any of the ones that I like that I've dipped, I add. Yes. I don't stop. In fact, I got it as low as 24, which is, where is it at? 27, 29 now or something like that, right? And it's gone up. Let me see. Where is Cardano? 29. I got it as low as 24. Actually, that's the lowest I've gotten it, is 24. So yes, I believe in Cardano, bro. It's just a long-term play. It's 24. We're halfway now. It's going to start turning. This is my prediction. I'm not a financial advisor. Okay. I've said this now for like 8 or 9 months now, and I'm sticking to it. September, October is when I think things start to really turn for us, markets, everything, stock and crypto. Although I think the crypto market will be much stronger than the stock market this last quarter of the year. And then in 2024, with the halving starting in April, then we're going to have the second boost. And we're going to go on a run, I believe, from like September, October, for like 18 months of just parabolic runs. And then those of us that have been investing the last year and a half and have held strong, have not sold, like yours truly, and you keep adding and lowering your overall costs, when this thing bounces back, you are going to love life. That's all I got to tell you. So it's just a matter of patience and guts and conviction. That's why I tell you, do your homework. Do your homework. Make sure that way you understand it. That way you understand what you believe or don't believe in. That way you feel good. Man, this morning, remember when Tesla was down to $105? I told you guys, this is the time to get in. It's up to $290 this morning. It's like, when things are bad, like Cardano is down and Polkadot is down, and people don't want to invest because they're scared. But that's when you make your money. When everybody is scared, that's when you make your money. The problem is, in our society, we are lazy. We end up, the real investors, stay tough and strong when things are at its worst and continue to hold and collect. The dumb investors and the lazy investors that don't really study, they wait till it pops and then they join the parabolic run. So they already missed the first part of it. Like those of us that have held strong, we're already making money because we've already gone up since October on a lot of things. Okay. I don't know if you guys know this, but like, I believe it's almost like 80% of the people holding Bitcoin are in profits. Why? Because they bought low and they held. And that's kind of the trick of all of this. And if you don't have conviction and you're going to listen to people that don't know what the hell they're talking about, because sadly 95% of the world doesn't know anything about crypto, that's where we have our problem. And then you have a dirty government, right, led by Biden and Yellen and Warren and Powell and Gensler, who are manipulating this whole thing because they're working for the banks. And so they're trying to scare the shit out of people. So then JP Morgan and all these people in Fidelity, everybody, ARK Investments. So everybody then gets in and buys low because they scared everybody off. Just like these rich people are the foundation of our stock market. They're the foundation of the Federal Reserve, which was created over 100 years ago by 6 families, not the government, to kind of fool everybody to think that they're like a separate entity and all that, when they're manipulated completely by the government. And especially the Dems right now that are in charge of that. This is why on the Republican side, they're in the middle of trying to get rid of Gary Gensler, because they're trying to open it up. This is one thing that they do have right on that side, at least. You know what I mean? Again, I don't care about Republicans or Democrats. If you listen enough, I don't give a shit about either side. I only care about you, Americans. You may call yourself a Republican. You may call yourself a Democrat. I just give a shit about Americans. I don't care about either side. Both sides are just playing us against each other, and they keep us busy with all this other crap while they're destroying our economy behind the scenes. So, to me, all of this is going to change. This is going to give us freedoms that we've never had before, and that's what they're trying to take away from us, our freedoms. Okay? You know what our country was based on? That's what they're trying to take away. And that's why, I keep telling you about crypto, and I keep telling you about the freedoms that it's going to offer for all of us. And they know it. But now that they can't stop it, they try to manipulate it and control it in other ways to fool you out there. Stay strong, folks. Do your homework. Things are changing. Let's see. Damn, now I got to make some today. Getting hungry now. What are we talking about? Coleslaw pops? Throwing up will also help you lose weight. Yeah, well, coleslaw pops probably will help me lose weight. Not just because they're healthy, because it'll make me throw up like crazy. There's not enough weed in the world to make me want to tame the munchies with a coleslaw pop. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Actual political ideology does matter with financial security. Well, it seems to affect it at times. If people are interested in what Orlando is saying about the Fed, you should read The Monster from Jekyll Island about the creation of the Federal Reserve. Exactly. You should read it. You should read it. Because it's some dirty ass crap that fractionalized banking that they've got going on, where everybody deposits their money. You do know there's $125 billion for the FDIC, the federally insured program that they have there, right? That they say they pay up to $250,000. They have $125 billion for $9.4 trillion deposited. So your money's secure? Your money's insured? $125 billion for $9.4 trillion? Yeah, no, that balances out, of course. Yeah. Because fractionalized banking, just to put it simple for all of you, this is our banking system we inherited from the English a long time ago. Everybody comes, you deposit your money in Ocean Bank and Republic National Bank and Barnett Bank and, whatever banks, all these crazy ass banks we've had over the years or whatever, right? And so now you got your money, Bank of America, Chase, whatever. And then what they do with that money, they go and invest it all over the place. And they only keep a small portion inside the bank. So they get 95% of the money, and then they put it out on bonds and all, and everything's tied down. So when there are bank runs like we've had recently, and everybody wants to get their money, you can't get your money out because they don't have it. It's locked up in all kinds of things, bad investments, good investments, whatever. But they have no money liquid because Trump years ago signed off at releasing all the limitations on it. And so the banks could then use all their money, which that doesn't make any sense. They should keep your money and only invest a small portion and use that. But because they have stockholders, they got to answer to them, and they've got to find ways to create more profits to make to make them happy. Meanwhile, you, the customer, can get screwed any single moment, because the second they shut those doors, you have no access to your money ever again until they feel like it, until they figure it out, until they print more money to lower the value of the dollar that you just got. I know it's not sports or whatever, but and this is not a Democrat or Republican thing. This is a mess that everybody does. Everybody, English, French, Americans, Germans, we all have the same sorry ass fractionalized banking system. This is this is the kind of shit that just the average American just doesn't know, doesn't care about, doesn't understand. And if they did, they would freak out, okay, of what's going on. They'll go, oh my God, we're up some shit creek. They would freak out. So I suggest you do a little bit more studying on all of that. Okay. By the way, can I defend Pat McAfee? Am I allowed to defend Pat McAfee? I don't know him from a hole in the wall. I enjoy his show. I'll give you my, moving over to ESPN, I think his show will suffer, by the way, because he'll have to play the politics of all that crap there. But having said all that, I find it absolutely crap that people are going after him because they're firing a bunch of people at ESPN. That has nothing to do with him. Okay? Nothing to do with him. He came out, with an apology, not really an apology, but kind of an explanation on things. And I thought I kind of felt bad for him, to be quite honest. I really did. I felt bad for him because he kind of addressed the backlash, and I don't think he deserves the backlash, bro. He's earned the right to get whatever contract somebody wants to give him. And ESPN is firing because they're incompetent, because they've been losing money for years, because they overhired as it is. They have too many people. So now they got to cut back, and now they're going to cut back more than ever, right? But I don't blame Stephen A. As mediocre as I think he is. I don't blame him for getting the money. I don't blame Pat McAfee either. And he goes, I did a lot of reflecting about our show's journey while I was getting murdered on the internet today. All roads lead back to how honored I am to be the leader of such a talented group and how lucky I am to be a part of this team. We're pumped to be joining ESPN, and our goal is that the mass exits are never a thing again. We hope that. Obviously, that's a lofty goal, but that's how I truly look at life. I wish we could have worked alongside a lot of the folks that got released today, some absolute legends that we are all respect in the sports media world. We're trending today for losing jobs. That sucks, no matter how you slice it. And, all these people, Chris Chelios, Matt Hasselbeck, Keyshawn Johnson, Jeff Van Gundy, Susie Kolber, Max Kellerman, Neil Everett, Ashley Brewer, all these people that got released. And, some other blaming McAfee, and it has nothing to do with McAfee. And, picking on McAfee is just ridiculous and childish. It's a profession, but it's a mismanaged profession in so many different ways because I've seen it firsthand. Brother, I did recently a radio project with a guy that had no money and lied to everybody about having money. Hell, and owes a bunch of us money. I've been at places that I've been with corporations that don't have enough to purchase equipment. QAM's like that. They're cheap as hell, dude. Odyssey is a cheap outfit. And before them, Intercom was a joke. Intercom had some decency when they first started, but as they grew more, they became a disgusting company, just like Odyssey is. And CBS had no interest in radio anymore, and that's why they bought it to dump it. It's a terrible business all around. But here's two things. One, people jamming on Pat McAfee, which he doesn't deserve that. And then the rest of you that are laughing at Susie Kolber or LaFonso Ellis or Matt Hasselbeck for losing their jobs. And what's wrong with you people? Right? They just deliver the news, give you an opinion. You like it, you don't like it, fine, whatever. It's not like they were incompetent and they made your team lose 4 seasons in a row or something. Okay, that's different. But it's just like the enjoyment of watching somebody lose their jobs, that a job that doesn't affect you in any way possible. I find that also kind of twisted too. If they were evil people and they committed crimes and they lost their jobs, like a George Santos, you can't wait for him because he's a dirtbag. You know what I'm saying? You don't want him in whatever, if he was a broadcaster or a politician or whatever. If they're bad people, Brett Favre. Yeah, no, I don't want to see him, be on television or be a mouthpiece for anything. Certain people, if you're a, bad person because allegedly you did something, well, yeah, those are the kind of people you're happy that they're not around anymore. But dude, I'm not going to take any, I'm not going to laugh that Jeff Van Gundy lost his job. That's stupid, man. So I didn't understand all the hate towards McAfee because of others losing their jobs. And then I don't understand the people that are going out of their way to take shots at Steve Young because he lost his job. And it's like, come on. These are still human beings, man. Just want to say. Oh, Lordy, Lordy, Lordy. What else do we have here? Susie will land on her feet. It doesn't seem like she's going to go back to this business. I don't know if you saw the tweet. She said that next thing is a kind of a project to give back. So she's made a lot of money in her career. She doesn't need to work again for the rest of her life. God bless her. Okay. She was making bank there at ESPN for a long time. So she should have a world of cash saved and fine. So it looks to me like she's going to do some kind of charity, nonprofit type of thing. That's what it sounds like. She said next project giving back. So maybe she's at another stage. Remember, when you're Susie Kolber, you're not going to go back to working at WPLG and do the sports updates. You've made a lot of money that unless Fox or NBC comes and says, hey, Susie, we'd like you to anchor our NBA coverage and maybe she'll do something like that. But she's not going to go take a local gig somewhere at this point. She doesn't have to. You know what I mean? So I don't think she'll bounce back in that sense of the business because it doesn't look like it what she said. Unless, again, CBS, ABC, NBC step up and they want her for something that they think she's perfect for. Then that's the kind of prestigious job I think she'll take. But it looked like she was going to do something personal for herself now, which God bless her. That's what she should do. She's worked hard enough, long enough, dude. Mike says, do you believe that old-fashioned radio stations are going the way? Oh, yeah, no, they're already dead. Mikey, I thought of this over 2 years ago when I started this. I was dying to get out of QAM. Over 2 years ago, I saw this coming. I knew platforms were the way. Radio's dead. Radio's dead. Live audiences are dead. This is the smallest part of our show, the live audience. You guys are the most dedicated. But you're the smallest because that's how it is on Netflix and Hulu and ABC and HBO. And nobody's watching you live anymore. We watch maybe sports live. But outside of that, everything you're watching is on a DVR or it's on a platform mostly. So you get home and you turn on Netflix and Hulu and YouTube and, you know, and you're in your car and it's Spotify and it's Stitcher and it's Google Play and, you know, and iTunes and all that stuff. It's all on demand now. Radio and regular television are dying. Dying. Young people will not listen to radio. Nobody is sitting there for a half hour of commercials anymore. They don't have to. They can go listen to their favorite podcast. Brother, how many minutes of commercials have we run in 2 hours and 43 minutes, Sean? How many minutes have we run? 2? 3? What did I take? 1 break so far? Told you, one-man shows. Most of those people at QAM can't do a one-man show. They can't do what I just did right now, talk for 2 hours and 43 minutes. And with 1 break for 2 minutes, they've got 2, 3 co-hosts, 1, 2 producers chiming in. Yeah, no, this is all changed. It's all changed. And radio and television are just dying forms of medium. And they have all this overhead too. Buildings and towers and trucks and insurance and all that kind of crap. That's what I love about for me and Sean. We got no overhead, bro. We don't have to pass that on to our sponsors. We could give them affordable rates. We have more viewers, more subscribers than QAM. We have more followers on Twitter than QAM. So, you know, and we don't have to charge you the amount of money that QAM charges you for something that people aren't listening to live anymore. Nobody's listening to their commercial breaks. So they're charging people for something that nobody's listening to. It's just that the advertiser hasn't completely figured that out yet. And then digital advertising is still kind of new to advertisers. So they're adjusting to the new world of podcasting and YouTube and this kind of stuff that we do nowadays. Yeah, it's we're in the transitional phase right now, Mike, for the consumer, for the broadcaster, and for the retailer. Everybody's kind of in a transition of how we're going about you're putting your advertising money, how you're producing your product, all of those things. Think about it. In radio, these idiots are still repeating segments. Okay, nobody's listening to you live. What you're supposed to do during that time is come and create more content so you can podcast more different content so you can give it. But instead, if you are repeating segments, you're producing less content for the most important part of your programming, which is podcasting, not live. So it shows you anybody that's repeating segments is lazy, it's stupid, and it doesn't help your business progress, because in today's world, it's about more content, different content, not repeating content. That doesn't help when you're podcasting. It shows you how ass backwards things are, and when you don't understand the business. So, miss old radio. That's because you're old, Rosendo. That's why. Sorry, bro, but that's why. You're old. Young people, they don't miss radio. Let's see what else. Isn't it true that the new cars don't have AM reception? Yep, exactly. They're eliminating the AM, and the discussion is that FM will be gone soon. If not in the car, who would be left listening? Exactly. I'm trying to say, I know, man. I was dying to get on a QM a little over 2 years ago, and I got my wish because I wanted to do this and get away with this because I can do it all on my own. I don't need them. Why am I going to share my money with them? Why am I going to share my sponsors with them? Why would I do that? That makes no sense. Why would I share my audience with them? No reason. You guys are listening to our show, whether it's here or in 640 or 560 or 940 or wherever I've been, Sirius Radio. You're listening to Orlando Alzagari. So why do I need them for? I don't. It's a beautiful thing when you can go on your own. Trust me, it is. There's nothing like it. I stopped doing ads on radio over a decade ago. No bang for your ad bucks. TV is still king, but it's dying as well. Exactly. Yep, exactly. It's all digital nowadays. It's all digital. That's it. Let's see. Hey, Pat, when are you going to sponsor one of our segments for all your restaurants there in North Carolina? We do reach North Carolina. Oh, Michelle Beadle is working for the Spurs. Maybe Susie can come back to Miami and work for the Heat. Nah, that's not big enough. I think she takes a job if, like I told you, national. NBC, Fox, somebody says, oh, we have our NBA coverage. Well, Fox doesn't have NBA. It would be what, NBC or ABC, right? Yeah. Well, no, but ABC is the same company, so it won't be there. So it'd have to be like NBC. Yeah. It would have to be something like that. And says, no, we want you to anchor our NBA coverage. And say, okay, or NFL coverage, I'm sorry. Actually, it could be NFL coverage with Susie. That's what it is. Thanks, Big O, for giving me a sense of reality. Yeah, I mean, we're old, bro. It's our reality. I love radio too. I miss Neil, I miss Rick and Suds. I miss a lot of shit about radio. You know what I mean? Growing up, I'm happy that I grew up with radio. I'm happy that I heard the bus when I was a kid on AM, and I grew up with music on AM, remember? Okay? Not just, was it on F? No, it was still on AM, some music. QAM used to be a country station and shit. Come on, man. So, I know what traditional radio is like. I get all of that. And I've been a part of traditional radio for a long time, but I evolve. I look at what's going on and in life, and I try to evolve with what's going on. And this is the way to go. As the Mandalorian would say, this is the way. Nice short show today. I know, right, Alexis? I am terrible. I apologize. You guys probably want to get rid of me. Oh, man. Birthdays today. Let's give you some birthdays. Tom Cruise is 61, and he doesn't look a day over 41. Freaking guy is amazing. What else do we have celebrating birthdays today? Thomas Gibson, 61 years old also. Elle King, pop singer. She's 34. By the way, Elle King, she's really gifted. I saw her open up for, forgot what band it was, and I didn't know jack crap about Elle King. I walked away going, that lady's gifted. I like it. She is talented. Let's see, who else do we have celebrating birthdays here? Mike Ryan, country singer, is 34. Not a lot of other ones, I think. Let's see. A whole bunch of people, but YouTubers and things like that I have no idea who the hell they are. But that's it. Those are the ones celebrating birthdays today. And in music history, on July 3rd, on this date, The Doors' Jim Morrison died of a heart attack on this date in Paris in his hotel room. He was in a bath. At the time, fans wouldn't learn of his passing until 6 days after it happened, by which time he was quietly buried in the Père Lachaise cemetery. I have no idea if I even pronounced it right. I just tried to be French for a moment. In 69, on this date, the Rolling Stones member Brian Jones drowned in a pool while under the influence of drugs and alcohol. He was 27, just like Jim Morrison, just like Jimi Hendrix, just like Janis Joplin, just like Kurt Cobain. In 73, Lauren Hammonds, who invented the Hammond organ, died at the age of 73. You know, you're walking down the mall, right? Doesn't matter, Dadeland, Midway Mall, doesn't matter what mall you were in. You walked by an organ place. You had to walk in just to mess with the organs a little bit. And then the guy would cut, hey, that's not a toy. But it's a Hammond. I got to play it. And I'm Reggie Hammond. There's a new sheriff in town. Anyway, in 2002, Osborne's wife, Sharon, underwent emergency surgery after being diagnosed with colon cancer. In 73, during the final show of the 60-date tour, David Bowie announced that he was retiring from live performing. However, it was his persona, Ziggy Stardust, that was actually retiring. In 2002, Elton John became the first person to be made an honorary doctorate from London Royal Academy of Music. And in 86, on this date, U2 crew member Greg Carroll was killed in a motorcycle accident in Dublin while running an errand for Bono. The song One Tree Hill on 87's Joshua Tree is dedicated to Carroll. So those are some of the things that happen in music history. Oh, by the way, did anybody see the, I would imagine, give me a spy report here. How shitty was the new Indiana Jones? Because there's no way I would go see it on the big screen. I'm terrified because the last one was so bad, and I really wanted to walk out. I stayed only because of my wife and my daughter and all that, and I said, all right, but it was so bad. I've never watched it again. Whenever I see it on, I just keep going. I can watch any of the other indies. Seriously, I'm not joking. I can watch the first three, catch it in the beginning, the end, the middle. I love them all. Okay. The last one was terrible. So I'm just wondering, because actually it stumbled in the box office, apparently, with a $60 million debut. And they're also Dial of Destiny. It was made for $295 million. So they're not even sure if it's going to even cover that. So, just wondering, how bad was it? Amy Winehouse was also 27. Yes. Very good. Elle King is Rob Schneider's daughter. Yes, I know that. But she's good, dude. Like, she's good. You got to see her live or watch her on YouTube. But I really enjoyed her music. She's got gifts, bro. So, there's in today's music, it's kind of tricky because there aren't a lot of great artists, people that have some vision with their music and things like that. And so when I see one, I embrace it. And El King is one that I got to give her props, man. 940 was a music station 20 years ago. Oh, 640. Yeah, it might have been. Yeah, about maybe a little longer. But yeah, Ed Kaplan, Neil Rogers, Goldberg, exactly. Ed is my guy, bro. Ed Kaplan is just amazing. Great people, man. Great people. Let's see. Chilled monkey brains. Yes. I love me some chilled monkey brains. Let's see. Oh, I was going to go see it on Saturday, but had a few friends who told me, don't waste your money. The movie was complete trash. So I'll just wait to see it when it comes out on DVD. Well, not DVD for me. I'll wait for one of the movie channels to carry it, and then I'll watch it there. I'm not even buying a DVD. I just wake up the next day and say, oh, what the hell happened? What advice would you give a new, truly dedicated person to start their own sports podcast? Be yourself. Like it or hate it, whatever, be yourself. You're not working in the business, but like I told that story earlier where they wanted me to play the bad guy, and I was like, but I don't believe in what you're telling me that I have to argue. And, oh no, but it doesn't matter, just play it. No, that's not my style. I don't do that shit. So don't do the clickbait shit that a lot of YouTubers do. And I get it, it helps their clicks. Either be ultra negative over anything and everything, or be Mr. Homer. And they will help. They will help. But you can also try to be true to yourself and the people that are watching you. And I think that's what people appreciate about my show. Good or bad, I'm just going to tell you like how it is. For myself or you or our teams or whatever. If I screwed up, I'll tell you I screwed up. And so to me, that's actually the best thing that comes across is be yourself. That way people can connect with you. It's kind of the same thing in marriage. I have a friend of mine that gets a new girlfriend and he does everything she wants to do. And then I say to him, well, aren't you doing some of the things? Well, she doesn't like this yet. Then I go, you, it's no good, bro. Doesn't work. And he ends up breaking up. And I tell him why? Because you weren't you. I go, you need to be you, dude. And if she doesn't like you, then you're in the wrong relationship. That's all. And if you don't like her the way she is, and she's altering just to be with you, then eventually you have to go back to being who you are. And so you're going to go back to who you are, and then that person's not going to like it. And then all of a sudden, so you've been a phony the entire time. So in a relationship, be who you are. So that way they know who you are, and then they love you for who you are, or they don't. And then you can move on. And if you're on a podcast, be who you are. If you play the role of something else, eventually it will catch up to you because you will not be able to maintain that role every day of your life. But if you are who you are, that's what you get. Ask Pat in Asheville, ask Chris Syria, ask NorCal, ask Mike No-Go Zones, ask who am I forgetting here? These are all listeners that are friends of mine now. They have my cell number. We go back and forth. Ask them if I'm any different personally or on the radio or here on the show. Ask them. Ask any of them that know me personally now, that hang out with me, have gone out with me, that talk with me. Ask them if I'm any different and they'll tell you he's the same guy. The same guy you get on the air is the same guy you get off the air. Same guy. That's always been my thing. I'm not going to change. And I think that that's the only way. That way, you know who I am, and maybe you like it and maybe you don't. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You know? So that would be my suggestion. If you're getting into a relationship, or if you're going to do a podcast, be yourself. On behalf of Ira Winderman, David Furones, Marcel Louis-Jacques, the best in the business, Sean Stanley, who masters his entire platform, we thank all of you out there. If you sent in a Cash App or a Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show, thank you very much. As always, appreciate that. A super chat. Those of you, of course, make sure you visit our sponsors. Boy, Bitcoin's over 31,000. I'm loving it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate it. What else? Let me see, just to make sure. I want to make sure I don't have anything left here on Cash App or Venmo that I haven't read. Thank you all out there. Thank you to crypto. Bitcoin hitting 31,000. Let's go, baby. And one of these 31,000, this is the third time it pops 31,000. Let's see if this is the charm where it gets us to 33, 34, 35, and start making our way to 40 and all that good stuff. Looking forward to it. All right. You all be good out there. I'll see some of you hopefully at the Struts tonight, and I'll be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. It'll be a short show, a lot shorter than this, I promise you. But we'll see you all tomorrow. You all be good out there. Have a great, oh, wait a minute. Same time, same place, same bat channel.